Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome back to World Speech Day Live 2021. And what you're going to experience now is the final leg of our World Speech Day Live event that has run for the past 40 hours. And this is going to be the last 2 hours where we will go live for the last time to celebrate the power of speech and speech making. And before we start the America segment officially at 9 p.m. EST time here in America, in the US, what we're going to do now is we're going to introduce to you a speaker from Singapore. Her name is Ray Fang, and she is actually a speaking and MC coach. She guides corporate professionals and entrepreneurs to speak up boldly. And her life mission is to inspire people to own their unique voice and to create an impact in the way they speak up and show up in life. And for this World Speech Day, the title of her speech is How to Thrive in This Digital Economy. So over to you, Ray.
Thanks, Suzanne. Since young, I was told by my very Asian parents, focus on your studies, do well in school, get a good job, and you'll get a good life. Thank God I didn't listen to my parents. I'm kidding. Don't get me wrong, I love my parents, but the success formula that worked 30 years ago won't work today. I'm Ray, and I'm a speaking and MC coach. I coach sales and corporate professionals to speak up boldly so fear never gets in their way. Having started my coaching business straight out of university, many have asked me, how do you get your stream of clients, build credibility, and have good social media presence and following in a matter of months? Thing is, I started my business officially right out of university, but I started building my network years before. When I was in university, I found myself gravitating towards non-academic ventures. I was having multiple freelance jobs as an MC, a life skills trainer. I sought mentorship from entrepreneurs and freelancers, and I did internships to discover what I liked and what I didn't like. Took up leadership positions that taught me how to work with a team. While my peers did exceptionally well in academics, getting A's as their average grade, I got B's, but usually C's. I focused more on expanding my network and building my portfolio. I graduated last year when the pandemic hit. And while many of my peers couldn't get jobs due to the very dry market because of the pandemic, I got multiple job offers from people in my current network, people that I've had coffee sessions before who own businesses or who have friends who own businesses. Yes, me, who received a less than average GPA, getting multiple job offers because of the network I've built for years. I rejected those job offers nonetheless to pursue my passion in coaching and speaking. And as a millennial who has observed a digital economy unfold, and as a 2020 graduate who graduated into a very dry job market due to the pandemic, I'll share 3 ways to stay highly relevant and thrive in this digital economy. So, number 1, learn to be a better communicator. In this day and age, as tech starts replacing jobs, there's one thing that robots or that tech cannot replace, which is the ability to connect with another human being. Only we can do that, humans. Only humans can connect to another human being. The way you converse authentically, lead with empathy, and having the emotional quotient to be tactful when you speak. Number 2, attention is a new currency. We all have a short attention span, as short as a goldfish, or most people do. Find out what allows you to stand out from the rest. Don't compare yourself with others. Instead, double down on what you're good at. So now I'd like you to think about a person that you admire the most. Maybe it's a mentor or a role model or someone that you look up to. Now let me ask you, if everybody in the world was exactly like this person, tell me honestly, do you think that the world would be pretty boring? So don't be better, be different. That way, you will grab the attention of others. So if you're someone that is naturally humorous, use your humor to make you different. If you're someone that can speak, and when you speak, you hold a safe space for people over Zoom, over online platforms, or even face to face, then use it to brand yourself. If you're someone that love power suits and you're always wearing power suits, then use that piece of clothing to brand yourself. Be different. Don't be better. And number three, be a player, not a victim. We can't control our external circumstances, but we can control our response to them. The pandemic was a challenging time for the world. We can choose to whine about it or move on and choose to pivot. Human beings are built to problem solve. That's actually what makes us different from animals. So let's use it. Let's problem solve. For me, 2020 has taught me to look for the opportunities in chaos. Starting my business amidst the lockdown allowed me to take advantage of digital platforms. That means doing organic marketing without paying for ads, to more eyes on social media. And that also means taking clients that don't live in the same country as me. And because of 2020 happening, to be honest, that made me sit down in my chair and actually build my business and allowed me to be featured on local media platforms 3 times in the past few months. And that wouldn't have happened if I didn't just, sit in my chair, had nothing to do, and just focus on building my business because I didn't have freelance jobs last year. Now, the question is this: when a flood comes, a flood, right? Water, the flood comes, there are two kinds of people. People who insist on staying in the house because they have attachment to all the belongings in their house. Maybe they paid for the house and they don't want to lose the house, or they just feel comfortable in the house. Or people, second group of people, is people who would evacuate and find higher ground. Who will you be? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ray, for that wonderful and motivating speech, for your nuggets of wisdom on how we can have the capacity to take charge of our lives, even in the face of the challenges that we go through in this pandemic. And with this, we are going to move on to the next segment of our event for today. This is going to be our last live segment, and this is going to be the America segment, covering speakers not just from North, South, and Central Americas, but also from Canada and our friends who are coming from outside America, friends from Singapore, Philippines, and Indonesia. And to host this event, I'm very honored to introduce to you the next person. She is also a speaker of World Speech Day Live, and she is a conscious parenting spiritual coach and public speaker. She enjoys helping people to heal, transform, and reconnect with their inner light and wisdom to live a life that they have been dreaming for. It is my pleasure and my honor to welcome her, and I would like all of you to also join me to welcome her virtually, with your hand, with your virtual clap. And she is Val Alino. So over to you, Val.
Thank you, Suzanne, so much. I am so grateful and honored to be here with all of you. I mean, can you imagine we've traveled the world for 40 plus years? I see a lot of common faces, Linda, Tylee. I mean, it's just an uplifting moment for me to have been behind the scenes, seeing how all the work that Suzanne, Peter, the producers, all the people that have helped, the organizers, and we have made it to the final countdown. So I want to see how the excitement is tonight. Can I see some thumbs up if everybody is excited? Awesome. So without further ado, we want to take advantage of every moment to hear your beautiful messages, to be able to continue in a strong way to lift hearts and grace faith to anyone that is joining us live right now. So without further ado, it is my utmost most pleasure to welcome to the stage Bonita Joy Yoder. She is from the United States and is going to gift us her time and talent with a speech called How the Hecklers in Your How to Halt the Hecklers in Your Head. After 25 years in legal practice, Bonita now speaks, entertains, and entertains. She wants to help people rediscover their inner joy through her art of ventriloquism. Thank you for being here, Bonita. We are ready to hear you.
Hello. My friend Ruby and I are here to share a story with you. Yeah, I was the youngest of 5 children and a preacher's kid. And as such, I was taught to be seen and not heard. That's right. When I was Ruby's age, I was told that children were to be seen and not heard. Not only that, but on Sunday afternoons, after the Sunday sermons, the congregants often would have us over for a meal. And sometimes when my mother was talking, I would see my father poke her under the table. How come? Well, that meant that she was to be quiet. Really? Yeah. So as a child seeing this, I determined that I was not going to let anybody else speak for me. No. And I was going to be seen and heard. Yeah. However, I thought that I wasn't good enough. Yeah. Yeah. That maybe I didn't deserve to be seen and heard. What'd you do? Well, as an adult, I did personal work and I came up with the 3 R's. Reading, writing, and arithmetic? Oh, not those 3 R's, Ruby. But recognize, yes. And resist, yes. And reframe. How's that work? Well, tell me one of the thoughts you have that heckles you inside your head. You know, a self-talk kind of thing. I'm not good enough. That's a really common one. Okay, now what? Pay attention to when you're thinking that thought, because we have, as humans, as many as 16,000 to 80,000 negative thoughts a day, and 80% of them are often negative. Yeah, and a lot of them are the same thoughts over and over, day after day. Wow. So if you can identify some of these negative thoughts or recognize them, that's the first step. Okay, so I hear myself say I'm not good enough. Then what? Well, the second step is to resist it. What's that mean? That means that you can either say out loud to yourself something like, stop it, or even shut up if nobody else is around. And what if they are? Then you can just think it to yourself. Yeah, or if that's not your style, you could say, shh, it's not your turn. Shh, it's not your turn. It's never your turn. Yeah, never your turn. Then what do I do? The third step, the 3rd R is replace. Replace with what? Replace the negative thought with something that's a bit more positive. Like what? Well, think about it. If your common negative thought is, I'm not good enough, what would be something you'd rather hear? You're wonderful just the way you are. Oh, yeah. And there's still room to grow. Yeah, of course. I'm wonderful just the way I am. Yeah, you could even sing it to yourself. Aha! That's the 3 R's. It sure is. The first one is recognize, the second one resist, and the 3rd one replace. Oh, this is really exciting. I can do this. You can do this. So if you were taught to be seen and not heard, or in any way grew up feeling like that you weren't good enough to be seen and heard, I invite you to try the 3 R's. Recognize, resist, and replace. I gotta go practice right now. And so can you.
Thank you so much, Bonita. What a beautiful message. You bring humor. You say your speech in such a way that we will remember your speech until the end of time. Thank you for sharing how you enjoy life in this unique way. We are so grateful for your talk today. And up next, thank you. Up next, we have an incredible speaker, Linda Nefertiti. I am so excited to introduce her, and she will be speaking about change and transformation. Linda Nefertiti is an author, motivational speaker, and entrepreneur. She believes that women should not be defined by their past, but empowered by the possibilities of their future. She is a mother, grandmother, and a great-grandmother. Thank you, Linda. I am waiting with so much joy to hear you tonight.
Hello, and thank you. It's such an honor to be here sharing tonight. And as she said, I will be speaking about change and transformation. The late, great icon and American poet, Maya Angelou, spoke of the butterfly. She said, "We often delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit all the changes it must go through to achieve that beauty." You see, a butterfly starts out as a caterpillar, and all it knows how to do is crawl. It actually transforms into a butterfly after wrapping itself up into a cocoon. And when it comes out, it spreads its wings and has all its beautiful glory. That reminds me of a story of a little girl whose mother used to call her baby doll, until one day when the teacher at her elementary school violated her and silenced her. And after her mother went back to the school to speak to them, her mother was silenced as well. Have you ever felt like you're not good enough or that you are inadequate? Have you ever been silenced? You see, sometimes the victim believes it is their fault. Sometimes we allow our past to rob us of our present and our future. Sometimes we are compromised and we have blurred vision. I understand that feeling because that little girl was me. The thing that changed me was I had a shift in my mindset. Once you change your thoughts and you change your mind, your life will be changed too. I surrounded myself with people that had my solution and not my problem, with people that believed in me even before I believed in myself. And if this resonates with you, if you're someone who feels inadequate or feel like you're not good enough, I'm here to speak life into you, just like my mentor, Mr. Les Brown, when he said, "You have something special. You have greatness in you." That was my call to action. I answered that call. And when I answered that call, I found my voice again. And I reached out to my mother, and we had a conversation about that day. She also found her voice. When you change and shift your perspective, things will change. Here is what I like you to do is look at this card and write in the chat what you see on this card, because what you see is all in your perspective. Yes, that's correct. It is a shoe. It is a woman's shoe. But what I see, and someone said they see a butterfly. That does look like a butterfly. But if you look on the other side, this is what I see. And it's all about perspective. When we change our perspective, things will change. We all went through a storm in 2020, and we saw the storm. But we're coming to the other side of the storm. And on the other side of the storm, we'll be in the roaring 20s, and things can change based on how we look at it. There's a lot of people who lost their lives during the pandemic. I lost my loved one. But again, I shifted my mindset and decided this time, when I go through the storm, I'm going to come out a different person, because I'm not going to go through it the same way. This time, I became an author. This time, I wrote poems, and I answered the call that Mr. Les Brown gave me and became a motivational speaker. I want you to write this down. Leap and find your wings on the way down, just like that butterfly. That's what the L in Linda stands for. Nurture your mind, nurture yourself, read positive books, watch positive videos, affirm positive affirmations. Anytime you put anything after these two words, I am, you can have those two things. N, that's what the N in Nefertiti stands for. I want you to live in your truth. The late Dr. Miles Monroe says, rob the grave of your goals and dreams. Love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you cannot love anyone else. Mr. Les Brown says, you are a masterpiece because you are a piece of the master. And then I want you to give from your overflow. Miss Iyanla Van Zandt says, fill your cup up first, then give from your overflow. If this resonated with you, I want you to follow me on social media. My name is Linda Nefertiti Patton. If I can do this, you can do this too. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Oh my Lord, one speech after the other, Linda. You have such a way to bring all of us into your heart. You know, I was trying to take some notes, but every word was wiser than the one before. Thank you for sharing with such transparency everything that you have inside of you. We feel you, we bless you, and we're so thankful that you are here. Yes, please, let's give
Thank you
some
for
love.
allowing me to share.
Thank you, Nefertiti. Wow. Well, after that speech comes the grand Nate. I know he's pumped up after these two beautiful speeches already. Nate Mills Gray is also from the United States, and it's my honor to introduce him to you with a beautiful message called Opportunity Over Obstacles. Nate has an encouraging message for all who are facing challenges in their lives. Thank you, Nate, for being here. We are ready for you.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be here. And I must say that I'm deeply humbled to be able to join all the speakers and everyone across the globe tonight for World Speech Day and in the morning where you are. Humanity does not discriminate. What comes to your mind when you see humanity at a crossroads? When I see this statement, I think about the definition of humanity. And according to dictionary.com, it means all human beings collectively, the human race, and humankind. It also means the quality of being humane and kindness. When I see crossroads, I think about when I'm driving my car and I come to a crossroad at the same time with other drivers in traffic. and how we have to share the role and follow the rules. And because we all are governed by rules and customs, we have a choice to follow those rules, to follow the rule to obey the light, to stay in your lane, or even slow down and yield to the other person in traffic. But what happens if everybody decides to do their own thing and just proceed through the light without considering the other person? We're definitely going to have some problems. It's going to cause multiple confusion and multiple collisions because we have to share the road. And that's how the world is. We have to share the world that we live in because we have so many people with different perspectives from different backgrounds and different cultures. But does that mean unfairly because of those differences? Of course not. We're all created equal and we all have a unique purpose. According to the study of humanities, humans have been working since the beginning of time to preserve humanity in such cases as speaking out against social injustices, the inequalities, and even the continued effort to counteract global warming. We as humans did not choose to be born in this world. And when we were born, we did not have a choice as to which color or race or background we wanted to be. And also, once we are born, we are not just a part of the population. You are entitled to your fair treatment simply because you are a human being. So, in order to make the world a better place, everyone across the globe, from the leaders on down to everyone else, we should practice compassion by realizing that we all are humans and entitled to a good quality of life. We should also live a life of humility and walk humbly before one another and put aside greed and pride. And we should also focus on being the best individual that you can be and embrace all walks of life. No one is supreme over the other. I'm doing all that I can with what I have from where I am to do my part in helping humanity, such as mentoring, helping within my community, and sharing positive energy and motivation with the masses. So you have a responsibility to do something on this planet while you are here. And it is up to you to decide, what did you come to this world to do? And what gifts or talents do you have that you can bring to this world? And I'll leave you with this quote from the late Dr. Miles Monroe. And he said, "The wealthiest place in the world is not the gold mines of South America, I'm sorry, or it's not the oil fields of Iraq or Iran. They also are not the diamond mines of South Africa or the banks of the world." He says, "The wealthiest place on the planet is just down the road. It is the cemetery, because there is buried companies that never got started, bestsellers that never were written, and also masterpieces that were never painted. And in the cemetery is where those people did not carry those dreams out. They took it to the grave with them." I'm Nate Mills Gray at Nate Gray Zone. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Wow. Big round of applause for Nate. Well, you left us like, whew, we had to catch a deep breath after that speech, Nate. Now, how powerful your question. I'm sure we're all like lingering your question. What do you come to do in this world? Well
Yes.
said. Thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate
Thank you so much,
that you are
Val.
here with us. Thank you,
Thank you.
Nate.
Well, thanks. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. And now I am actually super grateful and excited to share with you Dr. Amitav Sharma. If you can open your camera, I would really appreciate it. Now, I have a personal story with Dr. Amitav Sharma, and it's a surprise that I'm introducing him. I have actually lived in his house in 2 times of my life when my world has shifted and I have not been able to see clearly. This man that I didn't know opened his door. So this forum allows us to connect in a magical way. So it is my most honor to welcome Amitav Sharma. He is a serial entrepreneur, philanthropist, and educationist at heart. He is passionate in helping individuals to develop the best version of themselves through training. Without further ado, Amitav Sharma.
Wow. Well, first off, you look amazing, dazzling. I owe you everything, okay? Felicitations and greetings, my friends across the globe. But get ready to stir up your adrenaline, for I am all fire and energy fueled with my mission. And what is it? The mission of giving. By the time I end my remarks, I presume and I hope you are equally charged. Well, I have always challenged myself, never traverse the conventional trodden path. Somehow, what had forever intrigued me was this happiness that big and small givers derived from giving back. What did I do? I went into deep analysis and introspection. And lo and behold, eureka, I discovered the essence of life. Live a life all about giving back. Extend compassion to all as you would expect yourself. In Sanskrit, there is a great saying, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. What does it mean? World is like a family, an oyster. So why not? And I can tell you, friends, life has never been ever blissful since I manifested this giving gift within myself. I have practiced giving as a habit. The moment someone poses a question or seeks help, that becomes my priority, my life, my aim, my mission, to alleviate others' pain points as if they were my own. My problems, if any, get resolved miraculously. My name is Dr. Amitabh Sharma, 67 years young, yet only 27 at heart. I come to you live from beautiful Atlanta in the United States, and I wish my story inspires and instills hope to develop a giving persona, not only for the greater good, but as a means of self-elevating help. Well, charity begins from home. My father and mother deeply believed in the power of giving and inseminated this giving tenet in me as a young child. And from the time I can remember till this day, my way of giving back is through innovative education, including underprivileged children. I have chosen to give back through STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, interdisciplinary experiential learning, setting up STEM labs, contextual curriculum, training school students, training teachers in this pedagogy, and then allowing them to develop skills and models which will make students and youngsters skilled, employable, and confident. Hope is a lovely word and even a lovelier feeling. It has and always keep humanity alive and away from annihilation. So I decry naysayers and pessimists who threaten and fearmonger that civility is vanishing and hope is diminishing. Friends, humanity may well be at the crossroads, but it is upon us and within us, each one of us, to catapult it from its lowest ebb to the zenith. Around the globe, so many people want to give and so many need the help. And yet our tinderized intelligence is ill-equipped to just spare them. That's not because of a lack of content, but mind you, a lack of context. It is only when generosity graces our interactions that relationships deepen, trust increases, and context blossoms, simply blooms. In such a field, our collective genius comes alive in a profoundly unique way. For introspection, I have some data points for you. Hopefully, they will give the kindling that you require. Altruism, the center of brain is considered deep brain structure, part of the primitive brain. We know when we see a child in trouble, our instincts, natural instincts, kick in and we spring into action before even we can think. Neuroscience has demonstrated that giving is a powerful pathway for creating more personal joy and improving overall health. Giving is also an art, thoughtful giving based upon empathy, what the recipient direly needs. Giving that aligns with the receptor is fulfilling rather than mindless or even conscious pursuit of simply dispensing away with whatever extra we may have. There is no age for giving. The ideology of getting imbibed, the longer it shall sustain and continue to make everyone around happy and joyful. Well, giving is also contagious. In a positive sense, unlike the flu, giving catches on fast when societies can create benchmarks of reaching out and helping others. Giving is incidentally is in fashion. Well, if there are people like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Ted Turner, Manoj Bhargav, Azim Premji, and scores of others, multitude of others, we can emulate them for their professional success. Why not giving? Giving should be preemptive. Rather than reactive giving, we should be able to anticipate, alleviate disasters, pains, and travails. It's said, a stitch in time saves 9. Humanity can be uplifted by a variety of giving. You have different flavors. You can donate time, energy, money, projects, your brain, your thought, your ideas. This cross-fertilization of ideas world allows to alleviate self-challenges, make community more comfortable by addressing them. So one may choose per capacity. It cannot always be, or should not always be, or may not always be financial. And what goes around comes around. Possibly for augmenting own happiness, giving enables one to reap what one sows. So at the end, on this auspicious World Speech Day, I encourage you, one and all, to join me in creating a circle of giving. I beckon you to delve deep into your hearts and unearth the genius in you, the giving genius, accentuate, even perpetuate the giving principle. Reach out, embrace with open arms and hearts for your own good and for the good of others. For then alone, we would have done justice and an iota of contribution to ensuring that humanity no longer remains at crossroads. Thank you for this opportunity.
Wow, Dr. Amitav Sharma, you took the roof off. Thank you so much for that speech. And I can testify for your caring heart. I've been blessed to go to India with you 3 times to serve your school. And I can put my hands on fire for that heart of yours. So thank you for sharing the space with us tonight. Now, it is my honor to bring into the stage our next speaker. I pray I'm pronouncing it right. Adrienne Dillard. Yes. Welcome to the stage. Adrienne is an international communication skill coach and author. Through her organization, she helps youth harness their vocal power so that they can ask for and receive what they need to achieve their best lives. It is my honor to bring her on stage, and we cannot wait to hear what you have to share with the whole world, Adrienne. Without further ado, Adrienne Dillard.
How many of you have a cell phone handy? Take out your cell phone and go to your camera app and take a picture of yourself. Look at that picture. How would you define yourself to someone who didn't know you? Just by looking at your picture, how would you describe yourself? I would describe myself as an older Black woman. If you look at your picture and you think, I think I'm an attractive man, or perhaps you look at your picture and you say, I'm a healthy woman. Those descriptions that you've just used are your cultural identity. When I say I'm an older Black woman, it means I've aligned myself with those groups. Your cultural identity are just your self-perception aligned with groups. My groups are older people, Black people, and women. Your groups might be happy people, healthy people, handsome people. The thing about cultural identity is that with every cultural identity, there are at least one stereotype, possibly more. Yes, there are a plethora of cultural identities. That means there are a plethora of stereotypes. Stereotypes are the oversimplifications and judgments that are made about a group, but stereotypes are not about the individual. As I said, I have 3 cultural identities. I'm going to take a few minutes to talk to you about those 3 cultural identities and 3 stereotypes for each of them. The first cultural identity is older people. Stereotype: older people know nothing about technology. Recently, I found myself in need of a new computer. Why? Because I had to get my laptop repaired, but I use my computer every day. And the only way I could send my laptop to be repaired is if I had a backup computer to use. I decided to purchase a new computer. Therefore, I went in search of computers. Unfortunately, I wasn't particularly happy with what I found. And then I decided, why not just make your own computer? So I did. I built a computer that fit all the requirements that I needed. Older people know nothing about technology. Stereotypes are made to limit your group, but they do not define you. The second stereotype is for Black people. Black people are lazy. During this past year, I worked 2 full-time jobs. I drove my disabled husband to his jobs and wherever else he had to go. I shared in the care of my grandson. I helped my elderly parents who lived about an hour away. I held 3 officer roles in my Toastmasters club, and I was a Cub Scout leader. In my spare time, I taught classes at the community college. Black people are lazy. Stereotypes are made to limit your group, but they do not define you. My third stereotype is about women. Women love to receive jewelry as gifts. Have you ever heard diamonds are a girl's best friend? Well, not this girl. I don't want anyone to give me diamonds or any other type of jewelry for a gift. My husband has delighted in the fact that whenever there was an anniversary or a birthday, he didn't have to spend a lot of money on jewelry. He could just buy me an appliance. And yes, I appreciated it. I wanted the nice mixer. I wanted a new sewing machine. I did not want a new vacuum cleaner, so please don't bring that to me. I hate vacuuming. Women love jewelry as gifts. Stereotypes are made to limit your group, but they do not define you. There you have it. 3 different stereotypes for 3 different cultural identities. None of those stereotypes fit me. But so what if they did? Suppose I was an older Black woman who knew nothing about technology, was lazy, and loved jewelry. That still would not mean that I was defined by a stereotype. It would just mean that I was being me. Stereotypes cannot define you. The only person or entity that can define you is you. When you see yourself in your selfie, how do you define you? Back to you, Val.
Wow. Now you leave that. I was literally gonna get my phone and do that exercise, and then you're like done. I'm like, I have to go back and do it. That's powerful message right there. And you are so right. Stereotypes can, take over your life, and you stop living your truth because of this. So thank you for liberating all that. And you were so inspiring. Thank you. It's my pleasure to share this space with you.
Thank you, Val.
Everybody give a round of applause, please. This is the exciting part. We are ending this worldwide tour and we must show that the energy is here ready to receive another speaker that I adore. Now, I don't even think Peter and Suzanne know how much a lot of you already mean to me that I just met you, and those that have crossed my path in a deeper way, like Tejas B, who is up next. It is my pleasure to introduce him. We serve together in a nonprofit in Atlanta that we feed the homeless, and it is a Food for Lives organization, and it is our service hearts that join us in this incredible journey today. So I'd like to share a little bit about him. Tejas B is a business owner who wants to share on the benefits of breathing more consciously. And I can testify for the work that he does because he has taught me and he is a great teacher. So Tejas B, please take over your mic and inspire us with your wisdom.
Namaste, Val. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And thank you for bringing up Food for Lives. Food for Lives is an organization whose mission is to end hunger on Earth. And as a yoga practitioner, I wholeheartedly believe that every single individual, every single human being, every single animal, every single living entity in the universe is body, mind, and soul. So Food for Lives is 100% dedicated to feeding every single body. And now Mindful Servant Institute is dedicated to ending the mental health crisis on Earth. One of the best ways to help with our mental health is through the art of pranic breathing. And every single day, we take tens of thousands of breaths, approximately 24,000 breaths every single day, conservatively speaking. But how often do you really train your breath? How often do you really think about, am I maximizing my oxygen intake? Am I able to get rid of the CO2 in my body? And that's just on a physical level. You know, everyone is really well versed in the material elements, the earth, the water, the fire, the air, and the ether. But who really has studied the more subtle elements, you know, the mind, the intelligence, the false ego? Who is really able to navigate through their own individual emotions, their own intelligence? Who is really able to take that journey from their brain and into their heart? So practicing breath work really helps with that. And I'm just here to try to improve every single moment of every single individual's existence permanently by teaching you simple techniques on how to breathe. Okay, so for how many ever decades you've been alive or years you've been alive, you've taken 24,000 plus breaths every single day, and yet no one has ever taught you how to consciously maximize the energy you're receiving into yourself and how to release stress, how to release anxiety, how to release depression, and how to overcome emotional barriers within yourself. So there's a super, super simple technique called yogic breathing. And in my experience, it is the most efficient way for us to take breaths. First and foremost, you want to take breaths through your nose, not through your mouth. You know, don't be a mouth breather. Breathe through your nose for a number of reasons. First of all, breathing through your nose immediately increases your immunity. You have filtration systems through your nose. And so, like when you breathe through your mouth, you're letting in all the pollutants directly into your system, but your nose is able to filter them out. On top of that, when you breathe through your nose, the air gets redirected directly downward so you can feel the very bottoms of your lungs. So if everyone would join me in doing some yogic breathing, you can place your right hand on your belly button. And with every breath you take, I want you to expand your stomach And then contract your stomach. When you inhale deep into your belly and drop your diaphragm. As you exhale, bring your stomach in. It's a very common misconception that when you take a deep breath in, you're going to puff your chest out, right? But your rib cage is only so flexible. Your stomach is actually far, far more flexible. So, as much as your rib cage is able to expand, your stomach can expand twice as much. So you can inhale, expand the stomach, then inhale some more, expand your chest, inhale some more, raise your shoulders. Then as you exhale and drop your shoulders, bring your chest in, and bring your stomach in. And that's how you do a full inhale and a full exhale. First, you inhale to the stomach, then you inhale to the chest, then you inhale to the shoulders. As you exhale, drop your shoulders, drop your chest, and drop your stomach. If you do about 30 of those at a time, increasing the pace as you go, I guarantee you're going to improve your immune system, you're going to improve your digestion, you're going to reset your neurochemical imbalances, you're going to do wonders. You're going to be more productive, you'll be more focused, your whole entire day is going to improve, guaranteed, especially as you practice more and more and more and more. It's called the yogic breath. If you'd like to learn more, go to mindfulservant.com and you can check out the art of pranic breathing and the pranayama sangha to learn more. I personally overcame like tremendous adversities in my life. As a child, I went through some very traumatic experiences with people who were supposed to be taking care of me. And as I grew older, you know, and those emotions resurfaced, as we all know, like those traumatic experiences resurfaced, I was able to use breathing to overcome that and also be as productive as I possibly could be. I brought myself from being suicidal and anxious and depressed into, you know, the vibrant, hardworking person you see before you today. And I just want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank Val and the entire World Speech Organization for listening. And I acknowledge the light, divinity, and beauty in each individual and living entity in the universe. Namaste.
Namaste. Beautiful. Well said. Well, I can tell you that it's worth it to do this practice. I've been blessed to be taught directly from him. And it does take practice, and it's worth it because we learn the wonderful benefits of this conscious breathing. So definitely look at foodforlives.org. You can find more about Mindful Servant Institute that is just here to serve and teach you all these practices. And now, well, a big round of applause for Teja Vita also, please. Absolutely. Thank you. We now go to Florinda Tay, which is actually in Singapore. So we are blessed to have you. I bet it's a little bit late. I lost track of what is the time zone everywhere, but we are so happy to have you. And she is going to actually speak about something that we all need to hear. How she overcame stress. Who all does not have stress right now? So she has this expertise, her own experience on how to share how she overcame stress. Florinda runs a skincare and cosmetic business. She wants to help ordinary people create extraordinary lives with possible mindsets. And we can see your practice because you are gorgeous. Thank you, Florinda. Come on board and light us with your light.
Thank you, Val. Thank you for all your energy. I'm loving it. And good morning to everyone present here and watching us live. I'm Florinda. I'm in Singapore. It's 9:47 in the morning on the 16th of March. I am a happily married mother of 3 beautiful kids. It is true. They say when you raise beautiful children, they will be beautiful, wonderful adults. And I personally chose to be a beauty entrepreneur, and I love doing what I do, because it's all about enriching women, helping them gain confidence, beauty, have a community, financial rewards, and most of all, recognition. I'd like to thank Peter, Suzanne, and team for effectively getting this up. It is my honor to be here. I am so happy to be sharing with you about my life here on World Speech Day. So something about myself before I share with you my tips on stress. So I was diagnosed with a rare blood cancer 12 years ago, which makes me in high risk of stroke and clots. And trust me, every day is a constant battle trying not to think about it. I work hard on being healthy, staying positive, just so that my medical report looks good and that my cancer does not turn aggressive. So yes, I think through a lot when I make decisions daily. Every single decision I make makes a difference in the way I live my life. My darkest moment was not the diagnosis, but it was when I lost the 2 pregnancy due to the medical condition. So the guilt I had to carry was painful as a woman and even more worse as a mother. All right. So my emotions fluctuates and maintaining sanity among all the craziness of our daily lives is especially crucial. And I'm constantly making decisions to cut things that doesn't help me. So if you have a medical condition, if you are a parent, if you're an entrepreneur, here are some tips to help you have a greater quality of life. So my little tip in life is whenever I get into a stress mode is always write down the things that I'm grateful for. See, a grateful heart allows us to see what God is actually really giving us and guiding us to that direction where he wants us to be. It may sound like a simple task, but trust me, when the world spins, sometimes we get spun upside down when we don't focus on the right things. There are days I am filled with anxiety, loss of hope. I feel that I'm not capable as a leader or not competent as a mother, a daughter or a wife, and having a healthy mental health mind, it's helping me write, and recognizing it helps me not spiral into depression, and it's essential in a good quality of life. So this is my little gratitude journal. So whenever I feel a spike of anxiety, I'll pick my pen up and I write what I'm grateful for on that day. So it really helps me shift my mindset. So these are really good in helping me not have a bad medical report, because I go for a medical checkup every 6 months. Yeah. So you see, we all have a negotiator that lives in our head. She's there to protect us from pain, hurt, hard times, and anything that's perceived as dangerous, because our subconsciousness is in charge of her. She will try to talk you out of the least amount possible, but you have to silence her by walking in fresh confidence, and you must allow God to unleash the giant inside you. The only way to silence her is to raise your own bar, lift the minimum, rise above the average, your status quo, and the minimum mindset. The tip number 2 is always surround yourself with the right people. The more you love yourself, the bigger your energy feel, and it is expanded with love energy. Because the more you feel, the more fear you feel, the smaller your energy and the tighter your aura it is. When your energy field is big, when it's filled with love, people enter it and they feel uplifted and healed. So we must always enlarge our energy field, and remember to do that so that you can help others along and always live in the world of abundance. Tip number 3 is we are created to share our story, to inspire someone along the way. Even if it's to inspire one person, we must still do it. Each of us have a purpose, a passion, and finding it is a lifelong mission. I am still searching and fine-tuning my mission. You don't tell people your plans, but you show them your results. And never apologize for loving your work. My goal is always to choose against all odds and live the way I want, and know exactly what you deserve, accept nothing less, and to not stress over anything that is not helping you improve your life. So I'm Florinda. The world is awesome because you are, and I know my story has helped you. I believe in you. I know that you are the best. I love you. I hope my sharing today can help someone out out there. Eric Burton said this: I would be performing in the streets, but in my mind, I was performing in the Grammys. And this is the power of believing in a dream, because dreams don't work unless you do. So this event, 96 speakers, 42 hours, 103 countries, we all are inspiring the world. And have a great day, and back to you, Val.
Wow, beautiful message. A big round of applause, virtual, please, for Florinda with her powerful message. I love the gratitude journal. I do that as well. Amazing tips that you have given us. And one thing to look after for sure is surround yourself with the right people. That is a powerful message right there. Thank you for being here with us. I hope you continue to be here and support our other speakers. And now I kind of really even have to take a deep breath to present to you the next speaker, as he takes a deep breath in as well. He is from Cuba. I actually know him very well. He's my partner. His name is Alberto Pupo. And I cannot tell you what an incredible human being he is. And he brings happiness and joy to anybody around him. His title today is Only Happiness Saves the World. He is a laughter therapist and very well known in Latin America with the name of Dr. Humor. And without further ado, please welcome to the stage Alberto Pupo. Your microphone, please, your microphone.
Oh, okay. Hello. Good night. Good evening. Good evening. I am glad to be here with you to share some secrets about happiness. Well, the first question that I have for you is why you suffer. Why? Tell me why you suffer. Why? Because the purpose of our life is happiness. I think so. Deeply, I think deeply so. So, and now I ask you if you think that what is the sense? What is the sense that make us humans? What is the sense? Most of you say love, okay? But I can tell you, animals can love too. Well, see your dog, for example, now. Your love can love you, no? But there are another sense. The anger, for example, you can say, yeah, the humanity is can be very anger, no? But maybe you see that animals can be angered too. But there are a sense that make us human. The sense of humor, no? The capacity of that we can to be happy in any situation. So the people tell me, Alberto, this is a bad situation in the world right now. How can we solve that situation? I say, if we are in a bad situation, we have to learn to laugh of our problems. When we laugh of our problem, we can solve the problems. If you don't able to laugh of the situation that you are, you cannot assume that situation and you cannot solve it, because the sense of humor is one of the sense of the intelligence, one of the sign of intelligence of humanity. So I give you now 5 steps in order to be to have a happier life. So the first step is intelligence. I want to repeat with me that step. Please repeat with me. Intelligence. No, you can repeat this. No, this is in NLP, pure NLP, intelligence. Because the intelligence, the sense of humor make us more intelligent, because our neuronas, our brain works better when it's happy, when it's have joy. So the second step is strategy. You know, you cannot go for life without a happiness strategy. There are some strategies. Some people sit to wait for happiness, for example. That's a strategy. The other strategy, some people are running, finding the happiness in his life. My strategy that I recommend, the strategy that works, is build your own happiness. If you build your own happiness, the happiness will be always with you. So the third step is attitude. Attitude. You have to put attitude to your life. If you put attitude to your life, you're going to be more happier, because the positive attitude makes your chemistry brain better. No, you can have that hormones that make you happy when you get a good attitude. The next step is perseverance. You have to persevere in the happiness. When you persevere in the happiness, you can find better the way to prolong that happiness in your life. So, and then the last step, I think that is the purpose of the happiness. That's why in my workshop I speak about the happiness with purpose, is the transcendence. What is the transcendence? The transcendence is the way that the people remind you when you are not there. So when you go, when came that time that you have to go, we all have to go sometime. So how do you want that they remember you? As a happy person, or as a person that was suffering all their life? When you came to the heaven or to God and say, God, hi God, I am here, I arrived. See, I enjoy the journey. I enjoy all the creation that you give me when I was born. So I invite you that you enjoy your life. We are not here to suffer. We are here to enjoy all the things, all the miracles that we have every day in our life. So I invite you through these 5 steps: intelligence, strategy, attitude, perseverance, and transcendence, to enjoy your life. Because when you go, you have to say, yeah, the ride was spectacular. So as Charlie Chaplin says, that one day without a laugh is a lost day. I invite you to assume in your life that phrases of the biggest comedian in the history of the humanity, Charles Chaplin. Thank you. My name is Dr. Humor, and I was very, very glad to be here with you. Thank you.
Yay! I'm so happy to have heard this message and reconnect with that humor of Alberto with so powerful words. I mean, we tend to forget when we go in our day to day that the power of our laugh and how we can uplift our day by just look at things from a humorous side. And you know, this one question he said, how do you want to be remembered? What a profound question. Thank you, Dr. Humor, Alberto Pupo, all the way from Cuba. All right. So our next speaker, I am going to invite him to come, Tan Can Hong. He is actually in Singapore as well. And he will be talking today about a topic, embracing cultural diversity. Can Hong is an international speaker who has traveled more than 40 countries within his passion to train people to become the best version of themselves. Without further ado, I am here to welcome Can Hong Tan.
Well, thank you very much to our MC Val for the wonderful introduction. Now, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, whoever you are and wherever you are watching from around the globe. My name is Kwan Hong and I come from Singapore. And today, my topic is about cultural diversity. Cultural diversity is one of the most important phenomenon that we are facing right now as a world, as a collective world. And cultural diversity is the quality of diverse or different cultures as opposed to monoculture, the global monoculture or homogenization of cultures, akin to cultural decay. The phrase cultural diversity can also refer to having different cultures respect each other's differences. And ladies and gentlemen, now, given that COVID has overtaken the world since last year. The world is shrinking. We are globalizing fast. We are digitalizing fast. And because of that, it is now more easier than before to meet people of different cultures, to learn from each other, and to see what other people from different cultures think, feel, and believe. And because of that, I think cultural diversity is one of the greatest gifts to mankind that we have since last year. And as somebody who has traveled around the world, I have traveled to close to 50 different countries, and I have given talks and speeches to more than 40 different countries. I realized something. I realized that no matter how much the media tries to divide us, tries to differentiate us, different countries, China versus US, Asian versus the rest, or Westerners versus the rest, no matter how much the media tries to portray or divide people based on their race, their religion, their culture, their countries, I realized that all of us are pretty much the same. We actually want the same things. We want better life for our families. We want to help the people around us. And no matter which country I go to, I tend to see the same thing over and over again, because beyond the cultural differences, it's actually people who are the same. We want the same things. We want the same desires. We pursue the same goals and purpose in life. And because of that, I realized that no matter where we are around the world, we are actually very much the same. Okay? And cultural diversity, if we embrace it, can have many benefits for us. If you are in business, you know that diverse cultural perspectives can inspire creativity and drive innovation. And that cultural sensitivity, insights, and local knowledge means higher quality, targeted marketing. And of course, drawing from cultural diverse talent pools allows an organization to attract and retain the best talents. And of course, a diverse skill base allows an organization to offer a broader and more adaptable range of products and services. And diverse teams are actually proven to be more productive and perform better. And finally, greater opportunity for personal and professional growth if we engage in cultural diversity, if we embrace different cultures. So why not, ladies and gentlemen, let's ignore the media for a moment. Let us all embrace cultural diversity, because the benefits outweigh the cost. All right. And of course, cultural differences should not separate us from each other, but rather cultural diversity brings a collective strength that can benefit all of humanity. And of course, intercultural dialogue is the best guarantee of a more peaceful, just, and sustainable world. So that is why there are so many reasons to embrace cultural diversity, because in the end of the day, we are all humans, we share humanity, and we are all susceptible to the same thing. Because after all, we are all vulnerable to the same virus. The virus does not discriminate which race or religion or which country we all come from, because all of us humans are the same in the first place. So finally, ladies and gentlemen, an individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. And that is why we have to embrace cultural diversity. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. And I think this is the greatest chance we have to embrace all of humanity's strength, to unite the community, to uplift humanity, and to do so by embracing cultural diversity. Thank you so much.
Wow, Kwan, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing your passion. You're such a passionate speaker, and I'm with you on cultural acceptance, and we are one. I actually sometimes have a hard time even saying where I'm from. We at this point in time, we are just one, under the same sky. So your message really touched my heart as somebody who has been traveling also, and I've passed from trying to fit in to just opening my heart, showing my truth self, and that oneness with all. So very powerful speech. Thank you for being here. It's our honor to have you here tonight. So everybody give some love to Kwan, please. Thank you so much. Our virtual clapping. And now we are switching to Nick Rowland from the United Kingdom. And I am actually so excited to introduce him as well, as I have had also the pleasure of knowing his work and his heart, and welcome him with the most uplifting heart. He is speaking today. You don't have to be an extrovert to make a difference. Nick has a wonderful message to share, and he has a uniqueness that makes him different in the way he expresses his passion, his mission, his wisdom, and dream. Without further ado, Nick Ronald in the house. Welcome, Nick.
Thank you, Val. And yeah, just to say thank you to everyone who from World Speech Day for giving us the opportunity to share my story. So I'm going to talk to you how I think we need more people to stand up and share their message and help influence the world positively. We need more influencers, and how we can all play a part in influencing the world in a positive way. So I want to first of all ask, have you ever struggled to think what to say and didn't know what to say, so didn't say anything? Well, I did this for around 25 years. I'm a dyspraxic, and I was diagnosed in my 20s. So dyspraxia was called clumsy child syndrome in the sort of 70s. So I was always falling over, always having accidents. But also I was chronically shy and very introverted. I didn't speak at all when I was growing up. I literally only spoke to my family, which made the school very hard, and I was bullied quite a lot growing up, which meant I lost my confidence, which meant obviously I was even quieter. And this obviously affected. I went to university, and my nickname was Shifty. It's sort of like a word like a criminal, because I was always looking down, I wasn't looking at anyone, and I was very quiet. And it affected my ability to get work and socialize when I left university as well. So it's a big impact on my life. And I never thought anyone would be interested in what I had to say. I was very good at writing stories, and I had lots of things that I was writing down stories, but I could never tell my story. And then I had this light bulb moment where it all changed. And for me, I went to a Toastmasters club, like an international speaking club. So I thought, I've got to face my fear. I've got to learn how to speak out. I can't be this quiet for my life. I'm going to get nowhere. So I went to this Toastmasters club in London, and I sat at the back of the room, and for a year I didn't say anything. I spoke to people a little bit, but I didn't say anything on stage. And every time they invited people from the audience to go up on stage and answer a question, my stomach would go in knots, and I'd sweat. I was terrified. But after a year, I managed to pluck up courage, and I went on stage for a few minutes. I just shared my story. I just introduced myself, and everyone clapped as they do. They spawned Toastmasters, but also I got some people afterwards saying that it was quite inspirational. It was very genuine. And what I realised at that point was that basically everyone has a story to share. Everyone has perhaps messages to share, stories to share, or expertise to share. And what I really believe is that I've been passively going through life. I hadn't been contributing. I've just been keeping myself to myself, and I often compared myself to the more extrovert people, the more confident people. And I think nowadays in this world of social media, it's even easier to do that, to compare ourselves to others and think the loud, confident people, perhaps people who are perhaps rich and wealthy and have more to say. They're doing more things, experiencing more, achieve more. Let's listen to them and have that self-doubt. That what am I achieving? What have I got to say? But the truth is that everyone has something to say. And whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, and you're shy or quiet, rich or poor, we have to step up and ignore these doubts. We've all got a right to share our message, and we learn in life by listening to others' expertise. When we get motivated by listening to others' messages and stories, so we can everyone can inspire someone else by telling their story. And I think it's so important for more people to do that. And I spent 20 years not thinking I could do that. And then actually be able to do that's one of the most powerful, empowering things that I've ever been able to do. And I also think that collaboration, where you work with other people, it's so much more powerful in life than competing. And the whole point of collaboration is by listening to other people who have different opinions, different ideas, different skills, different attitudes. And whenever you come together, the difference is what makes the team work, what makes that collaboration work. So I'm going to leave you with like a call to action, but it doesn't have to be on stage. It doesn't have to, it could be with friends or your team at work, but to share your message. If you're someone who has that doubt, who's naturally very quiet, just my call to action for you to make the effort to step up and share your message. You don't, if you're the loudest person in the room, let the quietest person have a turn. If you're the quietest person, then raise your hand, stand up, and be proud, because this is your moment to speak. And if you have a fear of speaking, out, and you're not sure, you doubt yourself, and you don't feel you have a message to share, think of 3 things. I always think that if you know what makes you excited or passionate in life, one thing you're good at, and also what's your biggest dream, what's the one thing you want to achieve, then those are 3 things that can guide you. Those are the 3 things that you can share. They should be your motivation. So that's my story, and thank you for listening. Thank you for being there to let me share it.
Wow, Nick, thank you so much. Can I please have some love for Nick as well? I have had the pleasure of hearing your messages for a good while now, and I'm always inspired by how passionate you share your words. And I truly believe the same as you. Everybody has a story to tell, and just use your voice without really believing any of these things that you have been told. So thank you for reminding us for such an important value, Nick. I love being in this space with you again. I actually miss you. And next, I would like to welcome to the stage Von Eric Tandok from Canada. He now is opening his camera, and it's an honor to have you here as well, Von. He is speaking on an incredible topic, mindfulness in humanity. Von Eric is a speaker, facilitator, coach, and author who wants to reach out to different people, connect, and inspire to live a life of confidence and courage. 2 incredible things, confidence and courage. So please, Von, tell us how to do this.
Mindfulness and humanity. Imagine if there's no mindfulness in the world. Imagine we are not mindful. But first, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is living in a present condition without judgment. So when we say mindfulness, we are mindful with our thoughts, our words, and most important, our actions. Those 3 things should come together. So mindfulness actually starts with ourselves. It starts with you. That's why I asked in the first line of my speech, imagine if people are not being mindful. Let's take the first one. In our thoughts, if we all have a negative thought, do you think humanity can live with just being a negative? So as a person, you have to have a positive thought always. Yes, life is not always rainbow and sunshine. There's always a negative thought that's happening. In fact, they said there are more than 10,000 of chapters in our head. But which one are you going to have in your head? I'd rather choose positive thoughts. So that is being mindful. The next one, our words. Be mindful of your words, particularly if you are dealing with people. Sometimes our words will going to hurt people. We don't want to hurt people. You want to have a positive words conveying positive message. That's why we have this kind of activities right now that being organized, because we want to have a positive impact around the world, spreading it to whole humanity. So words are really important. Your words alone will encourage someone. So be mindful of our words. The last one, our actions. It says that in a speech, more than 90% is nonverbal. That means 7% is only words. So your actions is really important. Positive actions. That's where you're going to convey confidence, courage, because you really want to have a mindful actions. As I mentioned earlier, life is not always rainbow and sunshine. Sometimes we have a bad day. It happens to everyone. Now, if you have a bad day and you always bring that one to other people on how you connect with them, I don't think there's a peace in humanity. I don't think there will be a happy humanity. So that's why I always encourage, be mindful of ourselves. And that's 3 that I mentioned. Our thoughts, actions, in words. But how to become a mindful, by the way? Mindfulness is actually kind of meditation that starts with you. It depends on what time of the day. So I do my own mindfulness the moment I wake up in the morning, and I call it my moments of silence. So those are the times every morning that when I wake up, I'm grateful, I do my reflection, and I do my contemplation. And then that's where I plan my day. Have you heard about the saying, did you wake up in the wrong side of the bed? Of course. That's because you are rushing. Life is kind of a hectic schedule that if you don't have a time for yourself, we call it me time. Before you go to your work, before you go to school, before you attend to your most important thing in the day, you have to do that mindfulness the moment you wake up. And then during the day, if you feel like it's really overwhelming, take a moment. Go to one side of the room or one place, contemplate, empty your mind, be silent, and have your own mindfulness. That's where you're going to recharge, re-energize. Then you will be able to continue your day-to-day activities. So that is how very important mindfulness to everyone. It starts with yourself, and then you spread that energy, that positive vibration to everyone, to the whole humanity. That's how mindfulness works. You, Bal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ron. Absolutely a topic that I am obsessed with. It's great the way you reminded us how mindfulness just has to start from within, with ourselves. And we think that it's the other way around. And you are very great to remind us of that. And I love that you said also that your words could encourage someone else. Sometimes we think that our story is not worth sharing, or, we haven't gone through enough to share something, but you have just reminded us that. And we thank you, and of course, sharing much love with you, with everybody here on the screen. I would love to invite those that are on to support each other. Thank you, Roberto. I appreciate you joining in with your clapping. And now up next, I am so happy to introduce to you Christy Kennedy. She is from the United States, and she will be speaking about the Fortitude of Femininity. Christy Kennedy is an image confidence expert and author. She is dedicated to inspiring the fearful to shift from invisible to invisible to visible. Without further ado, Christy, can you please come and unmute yourself? Thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Val. It's so good to be here. I'm excited to empower the world. This is such a pivotal time in history, as we all know. And I'm going to speak about the fortitude of femininity. Now, what you tap into is going to be different than what I had to tap into when I found myself in the midst of a painful situation. And we all go through various forms of pain. And oftentimes pain gets a bad rep. We think pain is the enemy, but pain can be your best friend. Pain can be converted into power. Pain can be converted into purpose. Pain is useful. And it wasn't until I began to reflect over my life where I saw the value in my pain. And there was one commonality in every single situation. It was that pain introduced me to my strength. What does fortitude mean? Fortitude means to be mentally strong in the midst of difficulty, to have fortitude and fortify yourself. When we say we are fortified in the midst of challenges, we're saying that we will not break. We may bend, but we are not going to stop there, because that's exactly what pain could do. It could deter us from our destiny. And as we know, the world has been in the midst of pain for over 12 months. And there are many individuals that are weak in the knees. And so I want to speak a word of strength to you today, to remind you that this is not the end. This is one of the finest chapters if we tap into courage to prevail against fear. When I look back at my life over the last 6 years, I've been operating in fortitude. Now, there's a quote that I absolutely love. It said, she didn't fear the fire, she became the flames. And so my flame was femininity. I don't know what your flame is. Have you ever heard the quote, when your why is big enough, you'll figure out the how? Because we don't often know how to get out. But if we start taking one step at a time, all of a sudden, what happens? Solutions come to us. And I honestly believe we've made great strides. We have shattered glass ceilings. But listen, the question remains, what do we do with that great, vast blue sky? There are horizons that we have yet to scale, to kiss the air. I was coaching a young lady today, and one thing she said to me is that I've intentionally played it safe. How many of us are playing it safe in our life? I've been calling this Marchnificent because 6 years ago, one of the pivotal moments in my life, I've had many, but this one right here was the most recent. And I received a pink slip, and I say I turned it into Queenfidence. After that pink slip, I had to go back to the reinvention board. And I'm surrounded in my home office by 19 vision boards. Number 20 is in the master bedroom. The first thing I see is, girl, you got this. And there's 6 vision boards. How I married my husband was vision board number 1. I put down 60 bullet points of what I was expecting in a man because I did not want to have another broken heart. Have we ever been there? I often say that we live by design and not default. Many people are on the default setting. But I want to challenge you to come off the default setting. I want to challenge you to step into the ring of life, and fight against fear. I want to challenge you to focus on your future. I want to challenge you to feel the feelings. It's going to be uncomfortable, but this is how we get the jewels for the journey. And I want you to continue to fortify. multiply, occupy, because this is how we overcome. Eleanor Roosevelt said, we have the power to do anything we put our minds to. And so she said, every day, do something you're afraid of. Every single day. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Now is the time to lean into your edge. Now is the time to figure out your why. Go deeper in your why, because your why is going to solidify you through the turbulent times. And I used femininity. Cleopatra said, I will not be triumphed over. I began to tap into every woman I knew who had strength, who had courage, who had perseverance, who had passion, who had power. What will be your flame? Find your fire, and the future will blaze brighter than ever before. I'm Christy Kennedy, and it's a pleasure to empower you on tonight.
Wow, Christy, you definitely empowered us. Thank you, Roberto, for giving some love. Thank you, Vaughn. Yes, there's Linda. She's like, preach, Christy. That was impressive. I took so many notes, but I'll tell you, I love she didn't fear the fire. She became the flame. Oh my gosh. Linda and I are tattooing that on our body. We're going to see where in the world we are going to do that. Thank you so much. And now as I go, please, some clapping, some love for Christy. That was impressive. Thank you. Now, as we move along, I do want to practice what Vaughn taught us, mindfulness. And by doing so, I'd like to encourage everybody to take care of their time and stick, please, with the 3 to 5 minute speech, because we are many and we want to make sure we get to hear every single one of you. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you now Stanley Arganto from Canada. And I am going to share with you a beautiful title that he has chosen for his lecture today. Live a fulfilled and passionate life before it's too late. Stanley is an award-winning photographer who believes in capturing and sharing the unseen perspectives of the world through the lens. I absolutely love that introduction, Stanley. I can't wait to hear your message. Please unmute yourself. We welcome you tonight.
If today were the last day of my life, what I want to do, what I'm about to do today. A quote from Steve Jobs that I always have written on my bathroom mirror, so that every single morning I could read it and ask myself that question. If today were the last day of my life, would I do what I'm about to do today? And for the longest time, the answer was no, until I started changing the way I approach life. Hey, I'm Stanley, a mechanical engineer who left my promising, secure career to pursue my love for travel and my passion in photography. I make it my mission to capture and share the unseen perspectives of the world, to help and empower other photographers to pursue their passion in photography and to capture their dream shot. A short 3 years ago, life was very different. I was working as a mechanical engineer. A promising career, a good salary. It was a comfortable lifestyle with a secure financial situation, but there is one thing missing. I live a safe lifestyle, and along the way, I missed my passion for life. I remember when I first got that job. I feel like I finally got the job that I've always wanted as an engineering student. I thought I was living the dream. But then I started traveling. I started to see more of the world, and it opened up my mind. From there on, my mindset started to change. It was no longer about the big houses that I want to build, the fancy cars that I want to drive, or the big TVs. It's more about the new culture, the new perspectives that I can experience, the new people that I met along the way. And I want to be able to go to new places that I have never been before and share those experiences and journey with other people, to inspire others to follow their passion, or maybe travel and see more of the world. Traveling have helped me to understand the different ways of life, as well as different humanity and environment challenges that we have all around the world. You see, for the first 30 years, I've made decision based on fear. I've made decision based on what is safe. A decision that is always have a safety net. But what I didn't realize is that when I always make a decision with a safety net, that safety net become a false perception of security. In April 2018, I finally had the courage to leave my comfort zone, to leave my promising career as a mechanical engineer, and to stop living life based on fear. Instead, to live a life based on passion and love, based on what I wanted to do instead of the things that could have gone wrong. And for that reason, I have felt more alive in these past 3 years compared to the first 30 years of my life, when I thought I was doing what I meant to be doing. From this life lesson, I want to encourage you to pursue your passion, your dream in life, to always think about ways to pursue that thing that you always wanted to do, whatever it may be. It doesn't mean you have to quit your job. It doesn't mean you have to travel around the world. But I know deep inside, you have that 1, 2, 5, 10 things that you have in your bucket list that you always wanted to do in your life, but never had the time for it. Life is short. I lost a dear friend last year on a mountain accident. He was young. He was full of life. He was in his mid-20s, and life took him away from this world in a heartbeat. Start today. Start taking that next step to do what you always wanted to do, to live a life that you always dream of, but never had the courage to pursue, whether you want to do it as a hobby, side hustle, or to pursue it full time. It doesn't really matter. What's important is to take life for granted and stuck in the routine. We only have one life. Once it's gone forever. So stop living someone else's life. Take a small step every single day to get out of your comfort zone and pursue your dreams that you always wanted to do, but never had the time for it. Live the life you always dream of. Thank you.
Wow. Stanley, that was impressive. I so connect with your message. Thank you guys for being supportive of Stanley. I took your advice and I'm living the life that I finally wanted to live. And so I completely get your message. And tomorrow in a training that I give, I will quote you and say, stop living someone else's life. Stanley Arganto. I promise you I will do that. So thank you for adding that to my training. I love it. Yep. And you're coming along with me on my trips. I'm sticking to that one. And Linda, I don't know where we're going to tattoo all these things. Keep note because I'm the moderator and I can't write. We'll have a date later and share these notes. All right. Let's move on. I'm eager to introduce to you now Roberto Fuerte. He is also from Mexico like me. Bienvenido. Buenas noches. I am glad to have you here tonight, Roberto. And I loved your title, Remember What's Important in Life. He has been a business, educational consultant, and entrepreneur for more than 30 years. He wants to fostering solid moral values and correct attitudes in our now future leaders, kids, teens, and young adults. We now welcome to the stage Roberto Fuerte.
The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Now, Malcolm X. Dear friends of the world, welcome to World Speech Day 2021. This is a special edition where a lot of countries and people are under lockdown, which is a special situation. It wasn't like that last year, but now it is. I remember when I was a kid, little kid, one day we had a situation, a family situation where we had to have a lockdown, and I was crying, and I didn't know what was happening and what was happening to me. Humanity is at a crossroads, no doubt. And when we reach a crossroad, we need to make a decision which way to go. We go this way or the other. And one important trait of the good leaders is to make good decisions. But good decisions are made from good leaders because they have had problems on the road, and they have been able to solve them. There, in today's world, there's no effective real world leadership yet, and the pandemic has brought up that very clear. And there are good leaders and bad leaders, and we've had good leaders in the past, like maybe Churchill or Roosevelt, where maybe they weren't perfect, but in a certain point in time, they were the right person at in the right place. And there's been also bad leaders, people who hurt other people, like Hitler during World War II. And those leaders, we need to think about leadership in terms of how to be and how to create new leaders, good leaders. So where does leadership start? Well, leadership, one starting point is children. We start with the kids. If they encounter their problems, if we as parents were not overprotective, they can learn how to be good leaders. They can learn good skills that will help them to be the leaders we need in the future, in the near future. The pandemic has brought a lot of problems. Problems for the adults, for instance, overweight and not sleeping well, not enough, and for some adults, even drinking too much. For the kids, they have similar problems. So we need to pay attention to what they need. And also, we need to think about how we can be or have better families. So there are ways to help our families and help ourselves. The first thing is we can do exercise. We can call our family to do exercise 5 minutes at a time. Maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it doesn't matter. Just do it one day at a time, day after day, and suddenly you will be starting climbing up from 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 minutes, and it will be a good thing to do. Eat well and balanced. It's very important not to be vegetarian necessarily, but not overeat. Then go out and play in nature. If you see a tree, a plant, a little animal, your kids will really enjoy it, and they will be able to have better skills in life. That's for sure, because it was some years ago I read an article saying that kids could play forever with the mud. And then I took out my kids to play with the mud, and they were able to play without technology for hours. That was amazing. Then have a good sleep. There's a time for everything, and then you can set rules and limits for sleeping at the same time every single day. That would help everyone, and that would be very helpful. Keep an eye on the young. If you see that they have some problem, you have to take action and try to help them. And always be positive. Being positive is the key to have a better life. So let's be positive, and as some of my peers have said, well, meditation, mindfulness, those things help as well. So we want a better world. We need to create good leaders with the skills and moral values we need for our own future. We can start with our children, because our future starts now. Our future starts today.
Powerful words. Thank you, Roberto. Please let's give some excitement and gratitude to Roberto. I truly believe I also work with families. I know the importance of working with children, doing things with our families. That was such a powerful, powerful message, taking care of ourselves. That simple as that, we forget about it. We are in the routine every day, and you have just brought us back to what is important to focus on. So thank you, Roberto. It's a pleasure to be in this time and place with you. So now I call upon the stage Takaru Hayashi from Brazil. If you can please come on the screen. I will introduce him with a powerful, powerful topic, debating different ideas. How can we learn from opposing perspectives? Takaru is a member of a competitive debate association in his university in Sao Paulo. He believes that practicing an honest and healthy debate is a road to grow tolerance and empathy. We now welcome to the stage Takaru Hayashi.
Oh, thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So thank you. So I would like to start my speech. So nowadays the world seems to be more and more divided. In a world in crossroads with political polarization, with people having difficulty to communicate effectively, dialogue and empathy are skills of utmost importance. So my name is Takaru Hayashi. I'm a member of the USP Debate, the Competitive Debating Association from the University of São Paulo. And I would also like to thank Arieh Shafir-Goldstein, my friend from the Debating Club, as he greatly contributed to write this speech. So humanity is being disrupted. Many technologies like social media platforms were designed with the ideal to improve the lives of all, connecting humans from all around the globe. But ironically, they formed bubbles and echo chambers. It's really hard to say whether they really connected and impacted humanity in a truly positive way. So in this world where people have difficulty establishing meaningful dialogues, words like dispute and debate start to sound terrifying. But when people avoid engaging in honest and faithful disputes of ideas, taking action on important issues becomes impossible, because we need to understand the causes and explore the possible solutions for the issues that we have at hand. Now, competitive debating is quite an interesting sport. Often you see yourself defending positions and ideas that you don't necessarily agree with, and eventually some that you absolutely disagree with. But even in those cases, in the spirit of sportsmanship, you defend them and win that round. Moreover, those ideas aren't pure fiction or utterances from a villain, but they are philosophical and political propositions that we encounter on a daily basis. So through this practice, I learned to put myself into the position of others and try to understand what makes them tick. You know, what's their worldview and why do they support these ideas that I disagree? So the insight that I would like to offer you today is that the reason people have different opinions is because they see the world differently. And surely everyone does that, but the further you are from someone, be it politically, socially, or geographically, the harder it becomes to understand. While these different views give different roads for humanity and there isn't a universal truth, the reality of living as a global species and the challenges it presents us demands for a mutual understanding and put those conflicting worldviews in the debating arena. So the truth is that people take different positions because they have different metrics. Basically, metrics are the measure of what people consider as priority in their worldview. So it's what they consider as important when taking decisions and actions, what they consider as necessary to live their lives. And to understand that, we need to hear the other person. We need to put ourselves into their position. And then we start to understand why that person has that particular vision. We suddenly understand, like, oh, so this person has different values from me. They have different aspirations, backgrounds, culture. We suddenly understand that it's unnecessary to have an immediate negative reaction and shut ourselves down to other people just because we have confronting perspectives. So to achieve a kinder, more compassionate world, we must use these insights and techniques to be active listeners, generous interpreters of different realities in order to find common ground to stand on and strive towards a better future. So, I'm privileged to speak to you today, and I invite you all to join your local debating team. So thank you all, and good night, good morning, and good evening, wherever you are in the world.
Incredible words. Thank you, Takaru Hayashi Sato. They were very powerful words. It reminds us the power of being empathetic. Basically, what you are reminding us to always put ourselves in the other person's place. And sometimes we forget to do that. So thank you so much for that powerful message. And please, can we shake some hands for him? He did such an incredible job. Linda, help me bring the vibration back. Christy, come on. Von, thank you. Stanley. All right, we are going to continue our program. We have back visiting us, Chris Hunt. At this time, I call upon you to come on stage. Chris Hunt is going to gift us a speech called Wake Up with Passion. He is a fundamental coach who has a message to encourage us to live life with passion. Please come to the stage and unmute yourself.
Hello, thank you. How are you?
Great, thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here with us.
Excellent, excellent. Well, in the UK, I am videoing from the UK today, and it is 2:48 in the morning. So it's nice and early, right? Give me one of those. So yes, when you talk about passion, you know, when you wake up in the morning, my alarm went off at around half an hour ago, and I got my lovely wife next to me. I'm committing my kids in the next room. We got a little cat, Milo, and I got up in the morning, and it's all about waking up with passion. Now, when you get up at this time in the morning, you're getting up because of that reason. You got a message to talk about. You want to share your love. You want to share your message with the world, and that's what this is about. All right. So I believe in a model called the mastery model. When you apply these things as early in the day as you can, you live a day of passion. You, for example, get up at 2:15 in the morning to talk to all you amazing people and all you amazing people around the world, because you have a message to say. Because when you wake up with passion, you have that energy. You don't have to find the energy. When you wake up with passion, you feel that buzz because you know you want to share the message with everyone. So I suppose you're thinking, Chris, what are you on about? How can I do that? Well, for me, it starts with your why. I'm sure you've heard it before. When you wake up in the morning and you want to be the best version of yourself, and you want to, have that contagious energy, as soon as possible when you wake up, you got to highlight the reason you are getting up. So I know when I wake up, I have an alarm that goes off. It's one of my favorite songs. I have a powerful message that comes across my phone. And when I look over to turn the alarm off, I see a picture of my family, my whys, my unit, my things I've achieved, the things I want to achieve. Why? Because it's the first three things that my senses take in are: one, a powerful piece of music; two, some powerful words; and three, something graphical that you can just say, wow, okay, now I'm ready for the day. And I believe in a certain set key things. If you do them early, you'll wake up with passion. That may be using the mastery model, where the M is managing your morning routines. You get up, and when you get up, you wake up. And when you wake up, you get up. You acknowledge straight away that nutrition is important. You acknowledge the fact that you've got to get up and you've got to get some high quality food in you to sustain this passion. The S is just state of mind. This is the most important thing you'll have. So you've got to do something early on in the day, such as this morning. speaking with fantastic people that sets you up, that lights that fire. T is training. Get your body moving, everyone. That's what it's about. As early as you can. Ignite, yeah, I can see you dancing there, Val. It's what it's about. You've got to get your body moving. Get the energy going. E, your environment. You've got to do something in your environment to get you moving that way. Because when you have that natural flow, the momentum takes you through. Rest and recovery, some meditation, some breathing. But I'm coming to the final element, the why. And the why is you. That's how you have passion. What do you want? Why do you want it? How are you then going to go and get it? And I believe if everyone starts doing these things as early as they can in the day, within the first 5 minutes, like the talks from today, you do live with purpose. You do live with passion. You do live with zest. And that energy is just contagious. And I think we all understand when you put out that vibration, or you put out that vibe then comes back to you. Then because it's come back to you, you put out even more. And then because you get even more back, you put even more out. And it all starts with a choice. And that choice is what vibe you're going to put out this morning when you wake up, what vibe you're going to put out tomorrow. And you do have complete control over that. So I suppose in closing, it's just nice to say, what are you passionate about? Why are you passionate about it? And if you're struggling right now to think about that, just get up, move, have some water, think about the reasons you are here, and the answers will find you. Have a fantastic day. Thank you very much for joining me.
Amazing speech. Now you have that energy at 2-something a.m. You are part of my team and Linda's team. And some of us at Christy up there has her pom-pom. Is insane, the energy here, even at 2 a.m. for you. Thank you for being here. We're going to move along in our program as we have to keep on schedule. So please, let's stick to 3 to 5 minute speeches. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you, Chris. And now I call up on the stage Elisa Samayoa from Guatemala. It is my pleasure to welcome you with an incredible topic, the other reality of digital transformation. She is an 18-year-old engineering student, writer and poet, passionate about life, knowledge, and wisdom, willing to use her voice for silent people, hoping that someday we can live in equality, inclusion, and love. Equality, inclusion, and love. Powerful message already, Elisa. Please take it over.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing time. So I'm going to begin with my speech. Can you remember exactly the place or where you at 1 year ago? I'm going to give you a hint. It was March 13, 2020. Some people is going to say that it was probably bad luck, but I think that none of us exactly knew what was going to happen. For some people, it was the last opportunity of saying goodbye to their friends at school. Some of them got the last chance to say bye to people at work and even at university. And what about that see you on Monday that never really came to us? We lost everything in a blink of an eye. And we were not even ready for the things that were coming. There were challenges that we're not ready for. And every single loss that we're going to face. We were lost and everything was sort of strange for us. However, as a humanity, it was not the first time we were going to face something like this. We can remember about Black Death, Spanish flu, Asian flu, and so many more pandemics or sickness all over the decades. However, what's the main difference between all of them and the one that we're facing right now? Well, it's in 2 words, digital transformation. Even if we don't believe it, the world that we're living right now, it's full of technology. Everywhere we go, we're surrounded by technology, and every single minute that passes, there is a new thing creating and evolving. And we were not sure about it, but digital transformation was the one that was going to keep us alive from this pandemic. Will allow us to have a balance between the things that we didn't know and the things that were coming, but how to be better. Someday they just tell us, you know what, you're gonna start working at home office. You're gonna start having classes online and you're gonna continue shopping online. And in that perfect scenario, we can see that things were very kind of adapt to the new reality. And it seems like digital transformation did a pretty good job because you continue studying, you continue working, you continue shopping, and it seems like you're doing a pretty good job. But you're forgetting something. I'm from Guatemala, and the reality is that we live in a country where more than 60% of the people live in poverty. That just last year, more than 1 million people lost their job. And how is supposed that they're going to have digital transformation if they can even pay for phone or even for internet? And let's not even talk about the people who actually didn't have enough resources for being part of this new reality. What about the children who weren't able to continue their studies because they couldn't adapt to the new modalities at Zoom, for example? And what about the people who just didn't want to understand that there was something better for us? The other reality of digital transformation is that in a country where we don't have enough resources and where our development is very low, we're not ready for having digital transformation. We have not enough resources, economical resources, we have lack of opportunities, and sometimes companies and institutions, the only thing that they do is to increase this digital divide that exists in our country. So how is it supposed that we're gonna belong to this digital transformation when in our country we don't have enough resources for being able to overcome these things? How are we going to make people understand the importance of digital transformation if even as Guatemalans, we cannot really understand the importance of it? The other reality of digital transformation, it is that it is bigger than what we think. It is stronger and it has so many important things for us, but we're not ready for it yet. I think that from 1 year ago, from today, we're very different. Not only the challenges we have faced, but the things we have learned. And I think that one of the most important things by now is to take an advantage and understand that we are lucky enough for having enough resources for being part of this digital transformation. But if we have the opportunity, why don't we help others who don't? Probably looking for projects, not only as individuals, but also as collectives. So we can avoid having this digital divide and to make digital transformation to come to other people so that the other reality of digital transformation doesn't exist anymore. Thank you.
Wow, please a round of applause. Now this is Alyssa at 18, guys. I think your future is like just starting. We are honored and inspired with so much wisdom at your age. You are wise beyond your years. Thank you for being here with us tonight. We are grateful to have you. Our next speaker, a great friend of mine as well from UK, Kaya Andunye. And he is visiting us from the UK with a very powerful message tonight, the power of imagination. Kaya is a communications coach who encourages men and women to cultivate honest and open interactions for better understanding. Without further ado, let's have a very powerful and energetic man on stage now.
Hi, Val. Thank you for that. Hi, everyone, and good morning to all of you. Chris, I'm still very jealous of you because I need to go back to bed because it's 3 a.m. here in the UK. Hi, everyone. My name is Kaya Andunye, and my message today is about the power of imagination. Now, we've all come to a very important crossroad, which is a year ago for a lot of us, we had the perfect plans in mind, the perfect scripture, the perfect mood board, the perfect idea of what our tomorrow should look like. And then, hey, our reality changed in the blink of an eye. Our reality went from having everything in the grip of our hands to being controlled by what someone else wants it to be. And then one thing we all took for granted, which I'm very sure we've all learned now, is that tomorrow has never been promised. And during this lockdown, like myself, and I'm very sure like a lot of other people out there, we started to come to terms with what reality really is, which is reality starts from here. It then connects with here, and then everything else takes its own structure. I once heard this quote when I was a bit younger, when they said, "No man is an island." And as I grew older, I found a different interpretation of it, which is every man and woman is a unique island of ideas, creativity, passion, a unique reality. But what our jobs in life is to find bridges to connect our islands to. What am I saying? What I'm saying is we've all gone through an era in honest reality where our perfect scripts might not work. We've gone through a period where our perfect plans somehow just don't fit the mold. And what I've now noticed through this all is the strength to go on, the strength to believe has to first start from here. We need to go back to the beautiful days where we had it as kids, where we could dream, fantasize, see a tomorrow, which a lot of people call faith, and start to be it. It's not just about sounding motivational and putting the message out there, but it's about feeding it. Knowing that with every chance we get to make a choice or a decision, it starts with our emotions. Of course, the new norm, emotional intelligence. But the reality of things and the reality to everyone out there is our dreams and our grip is not what success really is. Success is knowing that you can get up in the morning and call the shots for what your tomorrow should be. Success is even after the perfect script or the perfect plan, you have a reason to keep going on. I remember when I started this whole, when I practiced this, I started with a sense of what would you give people to take away with them? And then the story of a boy in the Bible called Joseph came to mind. And Joseph had a perfect dream. And what the dream was based on was that before him, his mother and father bowed before him. And that was his perfect dream. And to a lot of us, that is our perfect dream. But along the way, he went from prison to palace. He went from poverty to nothing to having everything. While the honest reality is that his dream only became a reality after all of that, which is when his father, brother, and siblings, of course, and his mom bowed before him. What am I saying? For too many times, and of course through this crossroad, we've determined our futures by the dreams we think we have. A dream is just a guide and a map to what we're about to achieve. Our reality in this lockdown is to find that imagination to help us enjoy the journey, the imagination to help us connect. But most importantly, remember, success in 2020, for me and for a lot of people, was to stay alive. Not just to make money, but to stay alive. Success in 2021, and I would recommend it to all of us, is to fall in love with yourself. Strength doesn't lie out there. It starts within here and connects up there back to the imagination we all have. And it becomes the reality that we then have the strength and the purpose to push it on. I love today. And I know through God's grace, tomorrow is going to be better than it can always be. But it can only start with the power of your imagination. My name is Keo Tenea. It's an honor to be here. It's not past my bedtime, and I need to love you all and let you all go. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for those powerful words. I'm also going to quote you tomorrow. A dream is just a guide. Linda, write that down, please, for us to talk about. Thank you. It was very, very powerful. It's an honor to be here with you, my friend. Next, I'm going to call upon the stage Raul del Valle. He is from Guatemala. Bienvenido. He has a powerful message for us tonight, the power of information to change the world. He is a committed human being, one that decided to dedicate his life to serve before being served. There is good out in the world, and that needs to be shared. Without further ado, let's welcome Hector Raul del Valle. Bienvenido.
Muchas gracias. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. I am, as mentioned by my introduction, very fortunate that at some point in my life, I had the opportunity to rewrite my own history and dedicate myself to a career that would allow me to serve before being served, to dedicate my life for a greater purpose. And that is why I thought about the power of information as a speech. We are living in an era of innovation and development. However, it is unacceptable that in our best years of the 21st century, we are still not giving the right value to the power of information, even having the resources and tools at our hands. We are living in an era where we, as humanity, are still fighting for women's rights, for environmental rights, for the rights of our natives and our indigenous peoples, and also for the rights of those who have been historically oppressed. But why is so big the importance of the power of information? Because information is what gives us the power to tackle down ignorance, since ignorance is the weapon that bad leaders and bad authorities have used against our societies throughout history. They have oppressed us. They have made us incommunicated with each other, and they have made us not share good human decency and values. Today, we are celebrating the World Speech Day, and we need to share those core values we are honoring today. We are committed and we are responsible to share those basic and elemental values with others, with our peers, with our families, and with our communities, because we are living in an era where a pandemic didn't make any distinction, whether our race, whether the color of our skin, whether our borders, whether our genders, whether our preferences, whether our religious beliefs. This pandemic has affected us all equally. And yet again, I have a thought in my mind of a great person that was a leader in the United Nations. Former Secretary General Ban Ki-moon once said to the General Assembly, global challenges require global solidarity. It is our time to capitalize the power of information, of leaving behind selfishness, of putting in practice basic human dignity, basic human decency, and as a global community, engage together in these values and walk towards a greater future and a greater good. Thank you.
Wow, amazing. Everybody on camera, please share some love for Hector Raul del Valle. I absolutely love your message, and I'm going to stick to serve before being served. Linda, you know what to do, babe. Thank you. All right,
Un placer.
we are moving
Gracias.
along. Muchas gracias, Hector. Un placer. We are moving along with an excellent speaker as well, Clara Day. She is from the Philippines, which I'm so excited because I will be visiting there in November. So it is my pleasure to introduce that her topic will be how to help the world recover with micro-compoundable habitudes without changing your lifestyle.
Thank you
Clara
very much.
has been...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Clara has been into sustainable living for the past 7 years, and she has a message to help us refrain from overwhelmed with problems. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the stage Clara Herrera.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for that, Val. Thank you very much, and hope to meet you here in the Philippines when you get here soon. All right. How can you help the world recover? We are in a strange time. Economies are in free fall. People are scared, grieving, and anxious. This global pandemic is causing enormous suffering. This is a human crisis that is affecting everyone, everywhere. Wait, I'm sure you've heard of all those statements before, but today, let's choose to do this. Focus on micro-compoundable habitude instead of the problem. By the way, I'm Clara, yoga and meditation teacher, entrepreneur, and one of the founders of the Breakthrough Nation. As someone who promotes sustainable living for the past 7 years, disclaimer, I haven't been impeccable, but I constantly choose to do my best in this area. I believe the answers to most of our challenges as humanity in crossroads are found in nature. So here are 5 easy practices you can do to help the world recover, and some of them you may not have heard of yet. And you don't even need to change your whole lifestyle for them. Number 1, grow at least one vegetable or fruit in your home. At the start of the pandemic, I grew ginger and turmeric because I believe in the natural healing of medicine, the natural healing medicine of ginger and turmeric. And I chose to regrow them. The leaves alone are useful for cooking, as face mask for your digestion, etc. Just cut at least 2 inches of the ginger or turmeric and wait until it grows a small bud, then plant it. This will take at least 10 months to grow, but just the leaves alone can be used. I also grow aloe vera because of its healing properties, especially for digestion. You can use it for your hair, instant facial, and juice. We have our own moringa here at home as well, if you've heard of moringa. It's very rich in iron, prevents cancer, and fights bacteria, and a lot more. So this way, you have your own mini, all-natural drugstore. Less hospitalization costs, less demand for lab-created medicine, less demand for chemicals. If you want to go all out and make money, sell healthy juices made from your plants, even in your neighborhood first. Who knows where that simple entrepreneurial step can take you. And remember, growing your own food is like growing your own money. Number 2, less meat consumption. Wait, I'm not asking you to go vegan, to go vegetarian, or to go plant-based. But if you will choose to, thank you. Consuming less meat can let your digestive system rest, which is beneficial for your entire body. Less meat consumption means less pollution as well, since animal farming is linked to at least 60% of the global nitrogen pollution. During a crisis, it is recommended that we opt for cheaper, healthier, and easily sourced food, which is fruits and vegetables, basically plant-based. It's good for you in terms of your health, your budget, and it's a significant help for the economy too, because you will be able to support a lot of farmers. Number 3, support local businesses. If you have friends who are posting food that they sell online, buy even one order, then post about it so more people will know about their business. A lot of people do not have sustainable income nowadays. Do you agree? Be someone's hero today. Remember, what you put out will always come back to you, good or bad. Karma never sleeps, guys. Number 4, you want to make money and you want to help the world. Choose a problem and find a way to solve it. Find a way to monetize it. There's an avalanche of challenges now. Just choose one problem. Focus on how you can bring a solution. Sell it. Make sure to market it online. Use Facebook ads, click funnels. If you're not techie, YouTube is there for tips. And for example, at the beginning of the pandemic, there was a demand for more masks. Here in the Philippines, what did the local designers and seamstresses do? They made more masks from native materials here in the Philippines. Again, bring value to people by solving a problem. Don't be shy to make money out of it. When you have money coming in, it will be much easier to help more people who are in need. What's important is that you focus on your solution working out rather than worrying that it will fail. Don't worry about what other people will think and stop trying to make it perfectly right away. Like what one of my mentors would always say, version 1 is always better than version none. Allow yourself to make mistakes so you can learn and adjust and be better. Have faith in yourself and know that the higher power is always taking care of you. Number 5, meditate and do yoga. There are so many proven healing benefits of yoga and meditation. And during this time of confusion and anxiety, only clarity, which yoga and meditation can bring, can help us think better. If we are less anxious and worried, we affect those around us. Again, those are the 5 ways where you can help the world now. Grow at least one fruit or vegetable at home. Lessen meat consumption. Support local businesses. Find a problem that you can solve and monetize it. Meditate and do yoga. The solution starts from you. What are you going to do to help the world today? Be someone's hero. Namaste.
Thank you so much for such an incredible speech, Clara. I will take into consideration, of course, making these small changes to make a difference little by little in our body, in our planet, in nature, and in everything we do. Everything is just about having an open consciousness to do things in a different way. Okay? And you certainly have inspired us. Thank you so much. Can we have some love for her as well? Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you. And now I have the pleasure to bring to the stage Alfrecha Feblinesia from Indonesia, a place that definitely is on my wish list. I'll tell you a little bit about her. She's speaking to us in an important title called, Are You Aware of Your Invisible Burden? She is a young woman with the ambition of adding value to people through her stories. By the age of 24, she found out of the main reason why she was stuck in one place and how she could overcome that. Without further ado, please welcome to the stage Alfrecha Feblinesia.
Hi everyone. So I would like to ask, have you ever felt that you are always judged by your parents? Whatever they tell you, even when they mean well. I have. And how did it usually end up? So of course it's always a bad vibes because I usually felt that they are judging me for whatever I do. And my response to them, of course, it's in the negative way. I'm not so polite anymore to them. And it turns into a small debate every time, and it's a silent moment. So I'm 25th this year, and I come from an Asian family. I grew up with a very happy vibes family, and my mom plays the strong role in the family. I never hate my parents. I never thought that I have invisible burden I've been carrying all over until today, since I was a kid. So it starts from until I focus myself on personal growth, where I start to gain awareness of myself. It's so funny because I thought I'm okay. I'm so much better than many of my friends who have problems with their parents and their family. Yes, invisible burdens are so powerful and it can prevent us from moving forward in life. So how did I came into this realization? Luckily, I entered a community where I found my mentor and I can be 100% real with her. So I told her a lot of story, and every time I told her about my childhood memories, I cried. It's so funny because I never realized that I only remember about the negative things in my childhood. It feels like there are something hidden that I'm not aware of. This is such a minor issues because other than that, I can consider me growing up very happy. My family is not super rich, but we love each other, we are harmonious, and we can have fun with even simple things. Then as time passed by, and through some process in my life, I slowly realized that I'm actually growing up happily with low self-esteem, feeling unworthy. I told my mentor that I never hate my parents, and I always forgive them, whatever they do, even they didn't realize it. So her answer is very simple. She said that, yes, I might forgive them, but I don't forget about it. So what's next then? I don't feel like opening up to my mom about this. It feels awkward. But universe are so amazing. Just 2 months ago, there are an incident where I need to open up with my mom. We have a small argument, and it turns out that I told her again that you are judging me, mom. And then I know I hurt her as well until she told me that what she did wrong to me until I can be so heartless to her. I told her everything. I feel so overwhelmed and sad and disappointed. So I told her a few incidents in my childhood, and I remember everything went silent after that. So I don't feel guilty at all, even when I hurt her. I know this might seem very heartless, but I feel very relieved. Everything really happened for a good reason. That incident made me realize, made me speak up what I've been hiding myself. My mom said sorry to me, I said sorry to her, we explained each other and how it she never realized that this affect her so much and affect me so much. Me either, mom. I never expect it. So I don't understand whatever she told me mean well to me. But maybe it's the way that she told me, the intonation and everything that matters. Thankfully, since that day, our relationship become better. So for myself, I think humanity come from myself. We need to focus on myself. I need to focus on myself. I need to fix myself, be aware of myself, so that the better humanity will be created. Thank you.
Thank you so much for such a powerful message, Alferja. And to do this inner work of healing with all the patterns that have been gifted to you, it's very impressive. Thank you for reminding us of the importance to do this inner work. Can I please have some love for her as well, as we are hitting the last couple of let's see, a couple minutes, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. I lost track of time with all this excitement. So we still have to keep the spirit up as we are wrapping up this end of a world tour around the world, speaking from our hearts through World Speech Day Live. And now I would like to bring to the stage my dear friend, Tilly Fine from the United States. I am so honored to bring her on stage. We have a lot of things in common and passion, children, families. We studied together, conscious parenting coaching. And without further ado, she's speaking about true happiness that comes from within. In her message, Tilly will help us to rediscover our birthright to be happy in time when Western culture defines happiness by material possessions and status. Welcome, Tilly.
Thank you, Val. Grateful to be here with your energy. Thank you so much. Where I grew up in the Western culture, they defined success and happiness was defined by material possessions and status, what we have achieved on the outside. We judge success based on how much money we make, the job and title that we have, the size of the house and the neighborhood that we live in, the type of car that we drive, and being married with children. We are taught that once you reach these milestones, you will achieve success and happiness. We are raised as children to believe in cultural conditions that we are our gender, religion, race, family traditions, and expectations, and social status. Culture teaches us that who we are is defined by all things on the outside. So what happens when some of these expectations don't come true? We see ourselves as failures. If we don't get good grades, we don't look like models and we see in the magazines, we don't go to college, we don't get married, then we suffer. This lifestyle defined by culture doesn't allow a person to be their authentic self. I personally tried very hard to follow the cultural guidelines. I got a good job in the corporate world in the music industry. I moved up within the company and eventually achieved a great title and position. I enjoyed my corporate job. It was secure and it paid well. I got to see all the artists performing and I traveled across the United States. It was a lot of fun. I got married, we bought a house, and I had a baby girl. I was living the life that I had been brought up to believe that I was meant to live. I felt happy at times, but life was a struggle. I have my daughter to thank for changing my life. She resisted my efforts to control her and pushed me to look within. I started to search for what really made me happy and to discover who I really was as a person outside of cultural confinements. After a long journey of self-growth that's still going on, I realized that I was not living my authentic self. I was focused on status and material possessions on the outside. I awakened to see that I'm not my achievements, my grades, my education, my career. I am not ever anything that can be defined or labeled in the outside world. So after 16 years, I walked away from my corporate job in the music industry to become a conscious coach, guiding parents, leaders, and employees to find their full potential and live the life that they are meant to live. So what culture teaches us is actually the opposite. True happiness is not obtained by status and material objects. These only give us temporary happiness. True happiness and success comes from within. Once you allow yourself to be the authentic version that you were born to be, and you accept yourself for who you truly are, then material possessions and status on the outside are attracted to you in abundance. Happiness and success comes from the inside out and not the other way around. Thank you, and back to you, Val.
Thank you, Tilly, for such a powerful message. I can see that you're empowered to share the message with your brilliance, your knowledge, your wisdom, and your kind heart. Thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thank
So
you.
we still have everybody in the group. Vaughn, how's the spirit over there? Yes? All good? Amazing. And now, thank you, Tilly. It is also my pleasure to bring another person that I absolutely love up on stage. She is also a dear friend of mine. She's visiting us from Canada, Andrea Markusic. I cannot tell you how excited I am to share her talent with all of you. She is also part of our team of conscious parenting coaches around the world. And she comes with an uplifting heart to share her light and her message with all of us. She speaks about remembering what's important in your life. Andrea's vision for the world is to love ourselves unconditionally, and is doing so, our children learn to love themselves unconditionally also. Welcome to the stage, Andrea.
Thank you, Val. And Tilly, amazing. I loved your speech, and I'm going to follow that and reinforce what you said. And thank you to Peter and Suzanne for creating this whole organization. It's been an amazing experience. So I just would like to start with a story. When I was 7 months pregnant with my third child, I started a business, and I became very interested in making money and getting very successful with this business. And I actually, in hindsight, realized that the earning of the money was giving me self-worth. And I was really tired, and I was always exhausted and irritated around my kids, and they paid the biggest price. I would actually yell at them. And this one day, I can remember my son's blue eyes filling up with tears. And I just thought, wow, I have my priorities totally messed up. But the problem was, I validated myself through the money I was making, and I didn't know how to get off that cycle because it gave me my worth. This idea that our achievement defines our worth is everywhere. If you ask adolescents what they want to be when they grow up, many of them say they want to be rich and famous. And Jim Carrey has this famous speech where he says he wishes everyone could just get rich and famous right away so that they could realize that that's not what life is about. Life is about realizing the ordinariness of who we are. We're all just worthy. It's a birthright. We don't need to achieve anything to be realized. See, when I was trying to prove myself in my business, I didn't know this. I felt like I wasn't enough unless I was generating sales, unless I was growing this business. And it wasn't authentic to me. It was something I was trying to do from a void. Now, learning to love and accept ourselves is so important, because if I'm this mother modeling that I need to produce something on the outside in order to be worthy, I'm also telling my kids that the achievements that their achievements are what are going to make them worthy. And that's so flawed. When they're born and we meet them and we love them instantly, right? We don't say, let me see, are you going to get good grades? Are you going to get a trophy? Like, are you going to make that team? We just love them 100%. But something happens in our life and we all of a sudden get conditioned, and we even train our kids to produce these results so that they get love. And what happens is we actually end up learning that love is on the outside, like the external validation. And that's the lie, the big lie. We are valuable just as we are. So I'm just here to say, I invite you to love yourself unconditionally. You don't have to do anything to be a worthy human being. We were born worthy. And when we can do this for ourselves, we can give this gift to our children, and they can feel love and acceptance just the way they are. Thank you for listening, and thank you for having me on tonight. Thanks, Val.
Hello, thank you. Thank you, Andrea. I believe we have lost Val due to a connection, so I am your standby MC. I'm coming on board right now. Okay. Val, if you are back in the room, we will spotlight you. If not, then thank you very much for your message. I'm sure it inspires all the mothers who are listening right now, Andrea.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker, which we promised her a 9:40 slot, and then we moved it to a 32 slot. And this lady is just like me. She comes from an island country called Barbados, right? And let us welcome Celia Colemore. Celia, where are you?
Hi.
Celia, as I'm the standby MC, I did not have your speech title with me. Would you care to share?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Celia Colemore. I am the founder of Beige Infusion, which is a fitness lifestyle service here in Barbados. We package experiences around the island for locals and visitors alike. So on any given month, you can experience mountain biking, hiking, caving, paintball, paddleboard, horseback riding, you name it. It's all about trying something new and doing something different on the island. My biggest passion, though, is really to help people adopt a fit mindset, harmonize their entire life, and be able to go from strength to strength as they discover who they are and what they want to be.
Celia, you may begin.
All right. Have you ever been through a storm? For me, for many, this has been the norm. The toughest season is not believing, and only time can help with the healing. It's an unbelievable process, and many days are filled with stress. But as I look back at my journey, I must admit that I am blessed. Has your life ever felt out of control? Mine sure has, and my soul took the toll. To feel like all I've done was thrown to the ground, and it gets worse when you have no one around. What does it mean to succeed? For a while, I forgot how that feels because my heart was a constant bleed. Those who I relied on to give me a chance disappeared, went silent, left me in the distance. Sometimes I'm angry, sometimes I'm lonely, but we'll take it to the Lord who's holy. Sometimes I'm strong, sometimes I'm weak, but quickly have learned, be slow to speak. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad, but when I look back, I am very glad. Sometimes I want to lose my mind, but no, it's only a matter of time. Sometimes I want to ask God a million questions, but have decided to stay in the season because everything happens for a reason. When I wrote that poem, that was in 2011, when I lived in New York for 13 years and I was moving back to Barbados, not by choice. Yes, it wasn't by choice. And it was stressful. I was in a lot of pain. I was losing a lot of weight. So much was happening inside and outside of me. You could see my unhappiness with a decision that was made not by me, but by my previous employer. And I can go on and tell you this big grand story, but we only have 5 minutes. But what I want to say to you is my topic today is change is a choice. And what happened is when my past employer made a decision about my life, I had to make a decision on top of that. I had to choose to move forward with grit and grace and gratitude. I had to let go of what my past was and to start to create a new future. And that experience reminds me now of this topic, humanity at a crossroads. We, all over the world, we are at a crossroads. We have to decide if we're going to go back, if we're going to move forward, if we're going to go left, if we're going to go right. What we do now will set us up for the future. And 2 things I want to share with you as you choose to change your life for the better. I want you to think and believe and know that you have a purpose. Whatever your purpose is, I want you to hold on to that. I want you to work towards it. I want you to show the world who you are at your core. When you know your purpose, you create goals for yourself, you action those goals, and you fulfill those goals. Secondly, I want that as you go into your purpose and you live out your purpose, you want to connect with people who have similar interests, people who are of like mind, people who will get you to where you need to be. And when you break down the word humanity and you break down the word crossroads, that's exactly what it is. We are human beings. We are supposed to be living positively. We're supposed to be generous. We're supposed to be compassionate. We need to be empathetic. And the crossroads is you get to a point in your life where you have to make a crucial decision about the future. You have to look at the consequences of the future. So I am encouraging you today, right, that the changes that you're going to make will be a choice, but a choice for the better. And as I part today, I pray that you can live out your dreams. You can live out your goals and you can touch this world with all that you are. And remember, when you are living in the season, know that everything happens for a reason. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Celia. I hope that you guys can hear me now. Can you hear me okay? I apologize. I lost internet connection, so I lost some of that speech, but thank you so much for showing up tonight to help us close with a golden lock, this incredible journey around the world. If I am right, Peter can correct me. I believe you are our last speaker. Yes, Peter?
Yes, that's right. And she ended with everything happens for a reason. Yeah. So you got back your connection for a reason.
Everything. Listen, there's so much energy in this room that this happens. And Celia reminds us of that. So I'm so thankful for having the opportunity to come back and be part and to witness the closure of, I feel like I've been traveling the whole world and just have had numerous days of the highest vibration of, I've had this happy face nonstop, and just seeing all these speakers and hearing and being uplifted in this incredible journey of love, in raising humanity to a level that is I have never experienced. So Peter, Suzanne, I take my hat off for you, for all the people that have helped us travel the world through this incredible journey of love, and to have been a vessel of love and excitement to close with joy and grace and gratefulness. It is just a dream come true for me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I encourage everyone to share this video, because This has to be shared with the world. Just imagine the blessing that was gifted to us to hear all of these messages all at once. So thank you, Peter. And I hope that we have the pleasure of supporting you and Suzanne every single year.
Right. Thank you, Val. Stay around, stay put, everyone. Well, I love Celia's message. Everything happened for a reason. And that's the reason why we have organized World Speech Day, # World Speech Day Live. Without Simon Gibson founding World Speech Day itself and getting connected with us 5 years ago, we wouldn't have volunteered and started World Speech Day at the country level. Now, without the whole world body of national ambassadors agreeing to come together to bring forth their countrymen and countrywomen to speak in an event like this, we would not have World Speech Day Live. And there is something I need to say about Val. Val just signed up as a speaker as a result of the grace of Adobe. And the very moment she hears about this idea, she volunteered herself to say, in any capacity, if I may be of help, just use me, right? And she is such a source of light for everyone. Don't you agree? I mean, for everyone who agree, can you wave your hand, clap your hand? I'm gonna turn it on to your gallery mode so everybody here in the room can see. Now that was for Val. The next one, of course, are for all of you speakers. Without your timely appearance, your preparation, all this, well, I would say months for some of you, weeks for others, and at least 7 to 10 days for some of you here, we wouldn't have had the success of running this event and coming to a close now, so close to 12 midnight. So the next cheer is for all of you, all the 1,000 speakers around the world. Here's your applause. And of course, lastly, we have the most important people who actually made this possible, make the work of all these speakers possible. The audience is sitting right there, as Linda always tell me, do the Scooby-Doo, right there, right. Watching all of our speaker delivering powerful, impactful messages that touch, move, and inspire humanity across the globe. Dear audience, on behalf of all the speakers here, this applause is for you. So, Val, we still have 15 minutes. Now, who shall we bring up for an interview? Well, in my opinion, I think we should bring up Celia, if you're in the room, Celia. Because Celia, we shifted a number of your speaking slot along the way. And you're always so accommodative and agreeable to all the change of timing. And I understand it's really, really late there in Barbados?
Yes.
What time is it in Barbados?
It's minutes to 12, midnight.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So is there any question for Celia? I know you're a fitness coach and you run some fitness program, and what brought you to deliver those powerful messages that you have delivered?
A lot of it is just simply life experiences. And in 2020, just because of everything that was happening in the world, I said to myself, you need to be more present. You need to put yourself out there. You need to be a voice. Even though people may see you as that, they're not seeing you, they're not hearing you. And I just challenged myself to be more present, be more visible, be more outspoken. And not sure if my colleague in Atlanta, he heard me, but he would have sent World Speech Day to me probably like a month earlier. And I said, it must be a sign. And I'm going to challenge myself to do this. And all I have to do is speak from the heart. That's all I'm going to do. Speak from the heart, share my experiences. And when I lived in New York, I wrote a series of poems, and I've never really shared them. So today was that opportunity to share one of the poems out of the 12 that I would have written while living in New York. And I found that the writing was happening during the tough times in my life. Not when things were great, but when things became very tough. It was like it was time to step back and look in and dig deep and be able to pour my heart out through words, right? So when the topic of humanity at the crossroads came up, that poem resonated with me because I was at a turning point in my life too. It was a very difficult time in my life. You know, imagine living in the US 13 years of your life and saying, this is the place I'm going to live forever. I'm going to build my dreams here, build my business here. And it didn't happen. So that wasn't my plan. That wasn't the plan that God had for me. And I had to just snap out of it and say, look, this happened. Work with what you have. Work with where you're at. Right? So I am so happy. Thank you for the opportunity to participate. And I'm definitely looking forward to more World Speech Days.
Thank you. Thank you, Celia. Now you know a trainer, fitness coach, somebody who is so into fitness, can speak so well. I'm actually very touched by all your message.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Now, World Speech Day is a day to celebrate speeches. And in my opinion, it should not just stop at one day with all this energy in the room. In fact, both me and Suzanne, in fact, we should bring up Suzanne. Where's Suzanne? Let me have a look at Suzanne. Suzanne. Okay, I found you. All right, Suzanne is in the house. Suzanne,
Hello.
we need to hear from you before I carry on with the rest of my delivery. Yeah.
Right. Well, I have been helping out in World Speech Day since 2016 when they had their first session in Singapore. It was on a national basis. But I just want to say that this year, 2021, was certainly the best year that I've ever experienced, not just because I've got a chance to learn, to be involved in working with a lot of people, working with amazing people like you, our speakers, working with our team to bring this event together in the shortest amount of time. But I think what I gained from this, what I've gathered from this experience this year is really that exchange of ideas, that energy and that passion that all of you have shown in your speeches, and also the friendship that we have delivered over a number of months. And I just want to say that it has always, to me, it has been a very humble experience, getting to know all of you coming from so many countries in one single event like this, and getting to share the love together, share our enthusiasm, share our desire to really encourage each other, encourage one another as one humanity. I think that is the spirit of, that is not just the spirit of World Speech Day, that is the spirit of, us as one global family. I like to call it as a family. And I just love the fact that, I got a chance to experience it. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful for this experience because of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you. Now, before I hand over to Val to wrap up the next 6, 7, or 8 minutes, I am going to announce that we shall not stop here. In fact, at the back of our mind, between me and Suzanne, we have planned a series of events for the whole of 2021. Because of your great energy and the number of people you have touched, the lives that you have touched along the way, I think your voice should not stop here at World Speech Day Live. So we have created more events, and we'll bring your voices to more of far corners around the world, to all the people that really need to listen to your messages. Shall we start with Mother's Day on the 9th of May, which is about less than 2 months away? And who is in agreement? Give me a thumbs up, a virtual thumbs up, wave your hand, go crazy, yeah. All right, thank you. I can see a lot of you have some action and a thumbs up and virtual thumbs up. Wonderful, love the energy. I think we should all end on a high. So tonight you have heard from many of us, except for one person who has just been doing the job of introducing all of you and giving valuable compliments to all your speeches. So I am going to hand over the next. Shall we give us 6 minutes, ladies and gentlemen? Shall we? Do we agree? 6 minutes, because all of you are on time. You know, you're 5 minutes. Wonderful. I see many thumbs up. Val, please take over. It is your time to wrap up.
Wow. This is so emotional for me. You said it clearly. I mean, I want to share my own personal experience through this journey. You receive a WhatsApp, to be invited to speak in this event. How many of us receive invitations to this course, to this training, to this motivational this and that? But I really cherish every invitation, every opportunity to connect with someone's heart, to be a light united to someone else's light and make a brighter day, a brighter light in the universe, in the cosmos. And this was Adobe who, out of the blue, said, there's a worldwide event of speakers around the world. And without even hesitation, I jumped into the information session, just like many of you. And the rest is history. Suzanne said it so clearly. It came from, should I do this? Can I fit it into my schedule? To then you go into one info session, 2, 3, 4, and you start becoming a family. This organization, this mission, this vision is way beyond being a speaker and sharing a speech to the world. We have become one with all, one with God, to be able to express our hearts. And without hesitation, each one of us in our own way, shed our truth. For some of us might be easier to speak, for some might be challenging, for some have to do effort to wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. and do rehearsals at odd times on Saturdays and Sundays. But the one thing that we had in common is our hearts. And this experience was about the heart. And when we unite in the frequency of the heart all at once, 103 countries for days, for hours, this is the result of this. I know that each one of us connected even in 1%, 10%, 100% with some of us here on this forum. What will it take that this opportunity allows us to do even greater things? What Peter suggests, the Mother's Day, or whatever we have in store between amongst us, because it is only together and united that we will make a difference. And we have noticed today that it doesn't matter what your spirit is, what your voice has to say, that it is here that you showed up, that you made that change, that you gained that confidence, trust, that you were able to be here and you touched our lives. And in doing so, you have been a part of transforming the world. It is as big as that. One event, 1 5-minute speech, and look where we are. So now I want you to take all this in your heart and breathe and just embed it in your heart to be able to share it with others, because only in that moment is where we will really know why we are here, why we, out of billions of people in the world, the 900 plus speakers that we are here, there is a reason for it. So I ask you all, How many of you are willing to go further and now are united with energy, grace, love, and gratitude to continue to do this work in a greater level? I want you to please raise your hand and connect with the energy of the group. And I want you to clap for Peter, for Suzanne, for the founder of this event, for each one of you for making the effort of showing up, for allowing me to be your host tonight. And anything I can do for any of you, your loved ones, your mission, your vision, your dreams, Valalina, you know where to find me. It is my most grateful heart that speaks to me, to you all tonight. And I thank you. I love you. I bless you with all my heart. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Peter and Suzanne.
Thank you, Val. Thank you. I couldn't have put it better than Val. Now, there's only one group of people that we have forgotten, who have worked tirelessly for more than 42 hours. This event started off 11 p.m. Auckland, 14th of March, and today it's gone more than 42 hours. However, the team behind it has worked tirelessly for the weeks before these 42 hours. Now it's time for them to take a rest. So I would like the spotlight on them so that the world knows this group of people had less than 3 hours sleep a night, working tirelessly and serving you and ensuring all of you get your slot, get your message across the world. The Anobe Studio team, Javius, Purush, wave your hand, Juno, thank you, and thank you. Okay, and that is a wrap for World Speech Day Live. And thank you very much, Val. You are amazing. You are always a source of light. The love can be felt throughout as I look at everybody's face here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, for the lucky winners, now we'll be posting this after event. All your names have been picked, and we'll be posting in the same YouTube channel where your messages are picked. It will be showcased there. Please keep a lookout at the YouTube channel for your names to be shown, and keep sharing this grand finale video out to the world. Yeah, it should be a wrap. And thank you very much, all of you, and we shall see all of you very soon. For those of us in the room that wants to keep on staying in the room for our networking, once we are off the air, it will be open mic for all of you. All right. Guys, are we off the air?
Astrans is a small company, started 23rd July 1994. From a single-handed person, I have grown the company to today more than 27 years. We have not only impact the world, we have impact a lot of young people at heart. Why? Because I used to serve Rotary in the youth leadership. I have trained many youth, and I always tell them, everything, don't ever give up. In Astrans, the value that we can contribute is what we experience for, we share with our people. We give more than what we take. And we believe that through this contribution, we can help to make the world a better place. Astrans all along has been the key supporter for World Speech Day. I was the organizing chair in 2017. And I know how hard and how tough many people who dare not come on board to speak what is in their heart and soul and mind. I believe that if everybody put their heart and soul and mind and speak and voice out the right thing, we can be much better. World Speech Day Live 2021. The theme is Humanity at the Crossroads. Astrans is a small company, started 23rd July 1994. From a single-handed person, I have grown the company to today more than 27 years. We have not only impact the world, we have impact a lot of young people at heart. Why? Because I used to serve Rotary in the youth leadership. I have trained many youth, and I always tell them, everything, don't ever give up. In Astrans, the value that we can contribute is what we experience for, we share with our people. We give more than what we take. And we believe that through this contribution, we can help to make the world a better place. Astrans all along has been the key supporter for World Speech Day. I was the organizing chair in 2017. And I know how hard and how tough many people who dare not come on board to speak what is in their heart and soul and mind. I believe that if everybody put their heart and soul and mind and speak and voice out the right thing, we can be much better. World Speech Day Live 2021. The theme is Humanity at the Crossroads.